Family Cultivation. I can improve my magic weapon. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 76, Thick Fog, Confusing the Audience. Offer. Zhang Wenhui lowered her head in embarrassment and spoke in a light voice. If you want it, I will give it to you without charging you any money. Hearing this, Chen Qingyun slowly raised his head and glanced at the girl. Seeing that Zhongren was not nearby. Thinking about it, she came out secretly to sell resources in exchange for spiritual stones. I'm afraid there is a shortage of spiritual stones on hand. Just think of this. Chen Qingyun didn't mean to take advantage of her. He counted 800 spirit stones from the storage bag. Out of caution. After making sure that no one around was paying attention, he handed the spirit stone to Zhang Wenhui. I want this. The words fell. He didn't wait for Zhang Wenhui's reaction. Chen Qingyun picked up the 4 formation flags, stood up and left. Fellow Taoist Chen. Zhang Wenhui looked at the heavy bag in his hand. Wait until you come to your senses. Chen Qingyun's figure has long disappeared in Ditanfang City, and he doesn't know where he went. The girl held the spirit stone in her hand, stood up, and chased a few steps in the direction where Chen Qingyun left. After looking around for a while and realizing that Chen Qingyun was nowhere to be found, he curled his lips secretly, looking a little disappointed. I'll give it to you if I tell you. Why did you leave the spirit stone and run away? After muttering a few times, she checked the spirit stones in the bag and soon heard an ouch. Why are you giving so much? 800 spirit stones is Chen Qingyun's estimate. According to the current market conditions of formation flag instruments. Although compared to ordinary magic weapons. The use of the formation flag magic weapon is a little more troublesome, and the formation flag must be laid out in advance. Naturally, in terms of price, there is not as obvious a premium as other magic weapons. But there are still some worth 750 spirit stones. Chen Qingyun didn't care about the price difference of 50 more spiritual stones. All the way out of Hunyuan City, Chen Qingyun flew towards Zhenhai Island. By the time he set foot on Zhenhai Island, it was already evening. Informed the fifth sister that she has returned safely. Let's talk about the sale of magical artifacts and the sale of blue-tailed spirit fish. After Chen Qingyun learned about it, she didn't ask any more questions. She knew that running all the way would be tiring, so she told Chen Qingyun to rest early. After dinner at the beach area of the island, Chen Qingyun took out the inverted 5 elements flag. At first, when I saw these 4 formation flags. An idea came to Chen Qingyun's mind. The advantage of the array flag magic weapon is that it is compact and convenient, and can be deployed anytime and anywhere. For other monks, if they want to use the 4 formation flags, they have to spend time to arrange them around in advance. It is obviously not suitable for emergency combat. However, it is different with the 5 elements puppet. Just control 4 5 elements puppets at the same time. A puppet holds a formation flag and can flexibly exert the power of this formation. Arrange it wherever you want. This is why Chen Qingyun likes the set of formation flags. According to the Cultivation Progress of the Great Sun Meditation Sutra, you can achieve a breakthrough in these few days. The 4th puppet will be refined soon. Now you can familiarize yourself with this formation in advance. Sacrifice and refine the 4 formation flags and turn them into your own use. Immediately, they were arranged around. At the moment when the inverted 5 elements formation was opened. The environment within the formation began to change, showing a forest landscape and mist-shrouded conditions. The sound of the waves outside the formation was also cut off at this time, and no movement could be heard. The formation was quiet and seemed extremely quiet. Chen Qingyun had a thought in his mind. The environment inside the formation changed, and the sounds of insects and birds began to appear, which was very real. He tried to navigate these forests. It was found that these mists had a hallucinogenic effect on the chi-refining monks. Originally, the formation covered only a few dozen feet. He flew a distance of more than 1,000 feet, and when he looked around again, he found that he had returned to the starting point. It really has a confusing effect. After the first attempt, Chen Qingyun tried to change the environment and the formation. In just 1 cup of tea. Deserts, valleys, seas, wilderness and other scenes appeared in the formation. Each of these landforms has the effect of confusing the enemy. For example, in desert terrain, you can control the sky full of yellow sand to confuse your opponents. In the ocean environment, storms and waves can be unleashed. Obviously, this inverted 5 elements formation can transform into various forms of landforms. It has the effect of covering up the environment and confusing the opponent. Immediately afterwards, Chen Qingyun reversed the formation and performed it. The power of the formation changed and turned into a defensive formation. Chen Qingyun used his green light sword and slashed it down with all his strength. But the formation was not damaged at all. He activated the earth puppet again and attacked the formation more than a dozen times, but the formation was still impregnable. After deploying the defensive state, the defense is strong enough and can indeed withstand the attack of the 9th level Qi refining monk. After some testing, Chen Qingyun was quite satisfied with this formation. With a wave of his hand, the 4 formation flags turned into flowing light and flew back to his hand. Looking at the formation flag in his hand, Chen Qingyun's eyes were filled with light. First class, high grade, it belongs to the category of magical weapons and can be strengthened. Then, this set of inverted 5 elements formation can also be strengthened. Strengthen it at 4 points. I saw this set of upside down 5 elements formation flashing with light, aura rising, and its rank was raised to the 1st level of the best in one fell swoop. The rank has been raised. If you feel it carefully now, you can feel that the flags in your hand have become heavier. Chen Qingyun took out the water and fire puppets one after another. The 3 puppets took a flag from him, and Chen Qingyun held a flag himself. The 4 figures moved in 4 directions, forming a square. The mana was input into the flags, and the 3 puppets followed suit. The next moment, the inverted 5 elements formation appeared again. Compared with the previous formation. This time, Chen Qingyun could clearly feel it. The strength of the formation has been improved. The fog in the forest is much thicker, which can block the vision and hearing of the Qi refining cultivators. He urged the Qingguang sword and slashed it out. The flying sword turned into a green stream of light and quickly disappeared into the fog, without a trace. Carefully sensing, it is difficult to detect the location of the Qingguang sword. These fogs also have the effect of affecting spiritual consciousness. Of course, the fog effect can also make Chen Qingyun immune. This is controlled by him. After the grade is upgraded, the power has indeed increased a bit. Try the defensive effect again. Chen Qingyun removed the fog and recalled the Qingguang sword. The effect of the formation was reversed and turned into a defensive form. This time. Not only did the formation launch an all-round defense. A formation light fell and gathered on Chen Qingyun. I saw that around him, a formation barrier also appeared, protecting him alone. Chen Qingyun tested the strength of the formation barrier around him. After several attacks with the Qingguang sword, he found that the defensive effect was the same as the entire inverted 5 elements formation. The current formation can not only defend itself, but also protect me. If I am in this formation and fight the enemy, wouldn't I have a great advantage and be able to kill the enemy without anyone noticing? With these fogs confusing the enemy, it will be difficult for the enemy to find me. I will use the hidden spirit veil to control the 5 elements puppet to fight the enemy, who can find me among the cultivators below the foundation establishment stage. After testing the effect of this formation, Chen Qingyun was delighted. The formation flag magic weapon produced by the Zhang family is really good. Chapter 77 Family Letter. In the next few days, except for daily practice. Chen Qingyun spent all his thoughts on learning to refine the soul-nourishing jade. I looked at the jade slip back and forth hundreds of times. With 5 refining materials, it is impossible to refine only one soul-nourishing jade. He also wanted this very much. It takes more understanding and understanding. Hufang City. Zilintanmen. After Chen Qingyun accepted the commission for refining the weapon. The weapon refining notice originally standing at the door was removed. This attracted the attention of some monks in the city. The announcement has been withdrawn. Is there any weapon refiner who has accepted this weapon refinement commission? Well, this inner sea of stars is also Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I wonder which master made it. Could it be the group of people from Lingbao Mountain? Have you heard any news? It may not be Lingbao Mountain. Now that the Star Sea Demon Wave is approaching, Lingbao Mountain is also on the recruitment list. Those Lingbao Mountain weapon refiners are already very busy and have no time to take care of our inner Star Sea affairs. Yes, their sect is in internal strife and they already have too much time to take care of themselves. How can they accept any weapon refining commissions? There may not be a second-level weapon refiner in Lingbao Mountain who can refine divine soul magic weapons. Xinhai Island. Indoor fire. After more than 10 days of observation and reflection. Chen Qingyun already has the confidence to refine the soul-nourishing jade. 5 refining materials were taken out and placed neatly on one side. The fire control formation was activated, and the temperature of the ground fire began to rise slowly. The first time to refine a soul-nurturing magic weapon. Chen Qingyun did not dare to relax at all. After the ground fire reached the appropriate temperature, the soul-nourishing wood was first placed into the ground fire. Soul-nourishing wood has a special texture and is very light. Even if it is a palm-sized piece, it feels like nothing in your hand. This wood has a strong affinity for the spirit. Used alone, it can store the soul of a monk. Smelting soul-nourishing wood with earthly fire does not mean burning it into charcoal. Instead, use mana to crush it. Then it is roasted by ground fire to grind it into powder to remove the impurities inside. It is worth mentioning. When the soul-nourishing wood turns into powder, the monks need to use their spiritual thoughts to wrap the powder. This ensures that it will not volatilize and be annihilated in the air. To do this well, there are no small requirements for divine thoughts. Ordinary late-stage chi refining monks, or even ordinary first-level weapon refiners, cannot meet this standard. But Chen Qingyun is an exception. The intensity of his spiritual thoughts has surpassed the level of chi refining stage. Comparing the weapon refining process, it is enough to rival the first-level top-notch weapon refining master. Release your divine thoughts. The soul-nourishing wood powder was slowly wrapped around it. The other refining materials, water-cold stone and crystal silver wire, can be smelted one by one with earth fire. While continuing to wrap the soul-nourishing powder with spiritual thoughts. While smelting water-cold stone and crystal silver wire, this process lasted for about half an hour. Constantly use your spiritual thoughts to participate in refining. Beads of sweat were already overflowing from Chen Qingyun's forehead, and he felt that his spiritual thoughts were a little difficult. Fortunately, it is also within the affordable range. No wonder no one has accepted this weapon refining commission. It is indeed not easy to refine this soul-nourishing jade. This step of smelting alone would be difficult for many refiners. Chen Qingyun murmured in his heart. He slowly merged the liquid water-cold stone and crystal silver thread with the soul-nourishing powder. This step is carried out carefully. Wait until the three materials are blended together. The third step of shaping is not difficult. A milky white jade pendant-like object was quickly shaped, slowly floating on the ground fire. Lowered the temperature of the ground fire. The last step of the inscription formation is the most critical and the most testing part of the weapon refining technique. There are 7 formation patterns in total, and each one is different. Keep your mind steady and carve the first lines of inspiration. This is followed by the second storage pattern. The third spiritual path. The fourth Yunshan lines were all successfully engraved one by one. Until the fifth formation inscription is carried out. The prototype of the soul-nourishing jade trembled slightly, becoming agitated, and the light dimmed a bit. Chen Qingyun felt pity in his heart. Failed. These 10 days. Watch the refining process again and again. Understand every detail inside. He is familiar with the 7 formation patterns by heart and has rehearsed them in his mind many times. I thought about various possible problems and figured out how to avoid mistakes. But when it was actually being refined, something unexpected happened. The first refining failed. Chen Qingyun stopped temporarily and thought about the problem. I don't have much experience in refining weapons, so I have to recall the process of the inscription formation and find out the reason for the failure. Although I have memorized the inscription technique of the fourth formation pattern and the intensity of the spiritual inscription that needs to be controlled, I still have trouble controlling the intensity when I inscribe the formation. You have to become more familiar with the lines of this fourth formation. After finding out the problem, Chen Qingyun temporarily ended the refining. He took out several pieces of hematite and smelted, dissolved, and shaped them. When you get to the inscription formation step, familiarize yourself with the inscription technique on hematite. I have been familiar with it a dozen times. After spending 16 pieces of hematite, I finally felt confident. An hour later. The second soul-nourishing jade, with the last ray pattern finished. This jade pendant emits a faint light, conveying a kind of power that is close to the soul, and slowly floats in front of him. The second refining finally succeeded. Chen Qingyun couldn't hide the joy on his face. With a wave of his hand, the soul-nourishing jade appeared in an illusory state and flew in front of him. Feeling the breath emanating from it. The grade of this soul-nourishing jade is at the lower level of the first level, and it does not have the effect of protecting and nourishing the soul. In order to increase the success rate and reduce the loss of refining equipment, one or two more soul-nourishing jades were refined. Chen Qingyun chose to refine the most basic soul-nourishing jade. Next, it is to upgrade this soul-nourishing jade to the first level, top grade level. 7 points of strengthening were pressed. The soul-nourishing jade was surging with light, and the breath was amplified. The illusory state itself showed golden light, becoming more extraordinary. Soul-nourishing jade, first level, top grade. When it reaches this grade, it has the effect of protecting and nourishing the soul. In terms of price, the spirit stone worth about 2,000 is much higher than the price of the same grade magic weapon. Feeling the magical effect of the soul-nourishing jade, the soul is protected and nourished, and Chen Qingyun also understands the extraordinariness of this soul-nourishing magic weapon. No wonder Liu Zilin is willing to spend 5,000 spirit stones. She even took out a set of second-level formations as a reward. It turns out that this thing is indeed effective and has great benefits for the soul. Looking at the remaining 3 materials, Chen Qingyun refined it 3 more times. With the experience of a successful refining. In the end, it only failed once. Finally, 2 more soul-nourishing jades came out. It cost 14 points of strengthening. These 2 soul-nourishing jades were strengthened layer by layer and also upgraded to the first grade extreme level. Of these 2 soul-nourishing jades, Chen Qingyun decided to keep one for himself. Give the remaining one to Chen Qingyun first. When the materials are gathered in the future, this thing can be equipped to the clan leader, Grandpa Daoran and others. If the 5th sister had not given the 5 elements puppetry in the early days, the 5 elements puppets would not have been created to enhance the strength. The 5th sister is so good to Chen Qingyun and teaches him how to refine weapons. Chen Qingyun must not be stingy with her. After leaving the earth and fire room. When Chen Qingyun was found and given the soul-nourishing jade. The clan sister took the jade pendant magic weapon and recognized its origin after just looking at it for a while. This is a soul magic weapon. Yes, it is a soul magic weapon. I have 2 here. The extra one is for you. Chen Qingyun wanted to refuse, but Chen Qingyun's next sentence made her feel embarrassed to refuse. Please, accept this soul-nourishing jade first. I will find a way to equip a few pieces for the family monks in the future. Upon hearing this, Chen Qingyun nodded gently. She did not ask where the magic weapon came from, and silently remembered the kindness. When Chen Qingyun requested to refine the magic weapon on the spot and integrate it into the soul, Chen Qingyun could not help but look stunned. First class, top grade. The fluctuation of the breath emitted by the soul-nourishing jade made Chen Qingyun open her mouth in surprise. This is worth at least 2,000 spirit stones. Qingyun, this magic weapon is too valuable. Chen Qingyun said, hesitantly, wanting to return the magic weapon to Chen Qingyun. Take it, I have one too. Chen Qingyun smiled faintly, and when he raised his hand, a soul-nourishing jade appeared in his hand. At noon, he had lunch. He took care of the spiritual field. The 2 were just about to count the number of green-tailed spirit fish, when they suddenly saw a communication flying sword against the barrier of the island protection formation. A letter from the family? Chen Qingyun turned his head and glanced at Chen Qingyun, controlling the array plate and opening a corner of the array. The flying sword that sent the message flew in and landed in his hand. Chapter 78. The psychedelic island was seized. The pain of losing a child. Chen Qingyun was also confused when she saw the flying sword of communication sent by the family. He did not avoid the fifth sister. Chen Qingyun directly opened the flying sword of communication. The information inside emerged. Qingyun, the family has changed, return quickly. Although, the message inside only had these 8 words. But you can feel the urgency in the words. What's going on? What happened in the family? Chen Qingyun raised his eyes, a little worried about the current situation of the family. The family has never sent a message like this. It is probably not a small matter. Chen Qingyun was also worried, looking at Chen Qingyun seriously and said, Qingyun, don't delay, set off now. Well, but this Zhenhai Island. There will always be a time when I will guard Zhenhai Island alone. The family is more important. You set off now. Go earlier and come back earlier. Okay. He gave a warning to the fifth sister. Chen Qingyun left the array plate of the island protection array, and flew out of Zhenhai Island with the flying cloud boat. Wait until you return to Lingjian Island. As soon as he landed, a clan member came to take him to the clan meeting hall. Chen Qingyun entered the hall and found that something was wrong with the situation in the hall. There was a heavy atmosphere. Several senior members of the family were basically present. There was another person, Chen Dalin, who was in seclusion to make pills and had not yet come out. So he was not present this time. Chen Xianming, who usually had a smile on his face, was now solemn. This was very different from his expression when he held family meetings in the past. Chen Qingyun noticed many people present were like him, with a puzzled look on their faces. I don't know the reason for holding this emergency clan meeting. Among these people. The only difference. Was the seventh uncle Chen Qingzi. The seventh uncle looked haggard at the moment. He was holding a blood-stained storage bag in his hand and staring blankly. His eyebrows were filled with sadness. Compared with his previous appearance, the seventh uncle looked much older. The originally black hair has turned a lot whiter. This is obviously a white hair overnight. Seeing the appearance of the seventh uncle, Chen Qingyun vaguely guessed something. It seems that something happened to a family member. Qingyun is here, sit down. After greeting Chen Qingyun, Chen Xianming glanced at everyone present and pondered for a long time. Including Chen Douhai, Chen Qingyun, Chen Qingfeng and other family members sat upright. Pay attention to the next words of the old patriarch. They also clearly felt that something was wrong in this family meeting. It seemed to reflect that something had happened in the family. Otherwise, the patriarch would not have held this emergency meeting. Let them put down their current affairs temporarily, rush back to the family, and gather here. Sure enough. Chen Xianming frowned for a while, and finally sighed heavily. An unexpected incident occurred. The spiritual vein of the psychedelic island of the family was taken away by the Zhao family. King, who was guarding the psychedelic island, died in battle. Daoning was dying and fled back to the family to report the news. Now he is in danger. As soon as Chen Xianming finished speaking, the whole audience fell into a silent atmosphere. Chen Qingyun frowned, and his face instantly darkened. Except for Chen Qingzi. Everyone present also changed their faces. I didn't expect things to be like this. For a moment, it was a little difficult to accept in my heart. King Chen Daoren was a little speechless, and murmured in his mouth, breaking the silent atmosphere. The king mentioned by the old patriarch belongs to the king generation. He is the fourth son of Chen Qingzi and the seventh brother of Chen Qingyun. King has the 3 spiritual roots of water, wood and fire, and the 5th level of qi refining. He just turned 16 this year. Among Chen Qingzi's 4 children. Chen Qing's 2 sisters and 1 brother were sent to the mortal town protected by the Chen family since they were young because they did not have the spiritual root qualifications, and lived a stable and prosperous life. Chen Qing has the potential for cultivation. After embarking on the path of cultivation, He entered the Chen family tree and followed the family cultivators to practice. His qualifications are similar to Chen Qingyun. He is honest, studious, and hard-working. He has been cultivated by the family and favored by Chen Qingzi. It can be said that Chen Qing is Chen Qingzi's treasure. Chen Qingzi will leave any elixirs, magic tools, and good resources to this fourth son. As a result, his own cultivation has not made any progress and he has wasted many years. Until now, he is still at the third level of qi refining. That was 3 months ago. Chen Qing has become an adult and needs to perform a family task according to family rules. Then he took on the family task and followed Chen Daoning to the psychedelic islands to guard the spiritual field for 5 years. Chen Daoning, who led Chen Qing, was also the backbone of the family. He was over 60 years old and was Chen Qingyun's fifth grandfather. He was one of the 3 spiritual plant husbands in the family and had the 8th level of qi refining. Chen Daoning was largely responsible for the cultivation of the Chen family's spiritual fields. And just yesterday, the Zhao family suddenly attacked the psychedelic island at night. This diligent family elder, after witnessing Chen Qing being killed by the Zhao family cultivators and being unable to resist, he was filled with grief and anger. He dragged his last breath and desperately burned his blood to perform the escape technique. With the storage bag left by Chen Qing, he finally broke through the blockade of the Zhao family cultivators and fled all the way back to the family to report the news and expose the Zhao family's ugliness. Right now, this family elder has been bedridden because of a severe injury to his Dao body and damaged meridians. It is difficult to recover. It is precisely because of this last breath of resentment that he has kept his life, and his mind is confused. Chen Qing died in battle. Chen Daoning was seriously injured and on the verge of death. This made the already sparsely populated Chen family even worse and dealt a heavy blow. Qing is just a child. Chen Qingzi, who was originally filled with grief and anger, had a stress reaction. He felt dizzy on the spot, and a mouthful of blood rushed to his forehead. He vomited a large mouthful of blood. The ground was stained red, which was shocking. 7th brother. 7th uncle. Chen Qingzi's reaction immediately caused everyone to be at a loss. Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingfeng hurried forward to comfort him, took out the pills and fed them to protect his heart meridians. The other clan members around looked at each other, and they all showed worry, paying attention to Chen Qingzi's physical condition. The people in the hall surrounded Chen Qingzi for a while. Many people were pale or solemn, feeling sorry for Chen Qingzi and gritting their teeth at the Zhao family. The storage bag that Chen Qingzi had been holding in his hand was covered with blood, which could be guessed how fierce the battle was at that time. Chen Qingyun glanced at the blood-stained storage bag for a few times. It can be vaguely seen. This is the one that Chen Qing had been using when he first entered the path of cultivation. Chen Qing died in the battle, and his body could not be preserved. Only a blood-stained storage bag was left to be brought back to the family. How could this not make the 7th uncle who loved his son so much be heartbroken? Chen Qing carried Chen Qingzi's full expectations. At the age of 16, he was in the prime of his life, and he was full of passion to benefit the family. But now he was killed by the Zhao family and died prematurely. This kind of blow was too heavy for Chen Qingzi, and he could not accept it for a while. The old man sent the young man away. This is the pain of losing a son. Chapter 79, Resentment and Desire for Revenge. The loss of Chen Qing. For the Chen family, it was also a loss of a young talent, which was a huge blow. Chen Daoning's near death also caused everyone present to worry about the safety of this elder. The members of the Dao generation are all the elders of the Chen family. One less one is gone. Everyone felt their throats dry, as if something was stuck in their throats, and they felt heavy in their hearts. They didn't know how to speak. Chen Qingfeng, who always had a bad temper and couldn't stand being angry, jumped like thunder and said angrily, "The Dao family is bullying too much, too much. Robbing my Chen family's spiritual vein. Do they still have shame? Shame." Seeing the emotional Chen Qingfeng, everyone looked ugly. They also felt that the Zhao family had gone too far this time. Chen Xianmin saw everyone's expressions, and after calming down Chen Qingzi, he continued to speak. "The Dao family is so powerful that they have been against us more than once or twice, and they are becoming more and more unscrupulous. This time, they are even more interested in the psychedelic island, killing our cultivators and snatching the spiritual vein resource that originally belonged to us. Chen Xianming's eyes were filled with murderous intent, which was completely different from his original friendly appearance. "I'll tell you in detail about what happened, you should listen calmly first." Chen Xianming carefully recounted the matter of the Zhao family's seizure of the psychedelic island. It happened last night. Led by Zhao Shaoyuan of the Zhao family, a total of 6 cultivators launched a sneak attack on the psychedelic island overnight and started a battle to seize the island. Everyone was still wondering that there was a first-level superior formation set up by the family on the psychedelic island. It stands to reason. As long as the Zhao family members don't go out in person. Even 60 Qi refining cultivators can't break the formation. Why can 6 Zhao family cultivators do it? Next. Chen Xianming's words made everyone's face change. According to Daoning, the leader Zhao Shaoyuan has reached the foundation building stage. The formation we set up there can only resist the attacks of Qi refining cultivators at most. How can it resist the foundation building cultivators? In the final analysis, it's still my fault. I failed to strengthen the formation of defense of the psychedelic island, which led to today's tragedy. Chen Xianming's face showed bitterness, and he regretted it in his heart. Why didn't he borrow some spirit stones to set up a second-level formation on the psychedelic island? Seeing the guilty look on the old patriarch's face, Chen Daohai spoke first. "It's not your fault." Then Zhao Shaoyuan broke through to the foundation building stage, which is something we didn't expect. Not bad. Chen Daoran nodded in agreement. I know Zhao Shaoyuan, although he is over 40 years old, his cultivation has reached the 9th level of Qi refining and he has the hope of building a foundation, but the Zhao family does not have the ability to get a foundation building pill. Recently, there has been no news of ways to buy foundation building pills in the Xingsha Islands. How did Zhao Shaoyuan build his foundation? When this was said, many people were also puzzled. Without relying on foundation building pills to build a foundation, the success rate is only 1 in 10. According to Zhao Shaoyuan's age, he can take it step by step and wait for more than 10 years to get the foundation building pill. There is no need to rush to build a foundation. If there is a foundation building pill to build a foundation, then there is naturally no need to wait. But the foundation building pills are in the hands of the 5 major sects in Xinghai. There has been no news recently that there are foundation building pills on the market. So where did the foundation building pills come from? According to the Zhao family's background, it is a bit difficult to take out 10,000 spirit stones to buy foundation building pills. If the Zhao family really raised funds to buy the foundation building pill, it is impossible for the Chen family to not hear any news. In summary, the only possibility is Zhao Shaoyuan did not take the foundation building pill to build his foundation. Chen Daohai's pupils shrank, and he could only think of this possibility. As soon as these words came out, the atmosphere in the hall fell into a dead silence. Originally, the Zhao family had only one foundation building cultivator, Zhao Cheng, the head of the Zhao family. According to Chen Xianming's strength, the Chen family's cultivation in the late stage of foundation building was enough to compete with him. But now that the Zhao family has one more foundation building cultivator, the situation is completely different. The appearance of a foundation building cultivator will greatly enhance the prestige and strength of a foundation building family. Okay, no need to speculate, Chen Xianming said, his eyes slowly sweeping over everyone. The Zhao family dared to be so arrogant and rob my Chen family's spiritual vein because of the variable Zhao Shaoyuan. Zhao Shaoyuan has just broken through the foundation building period, and the Zhao family can't hold back. It seems that they have coveted the spiritual vein of the psychedelic island for a long time. Chen Qingyun became more and more angry as he listened, and couldn't help but slap the table and said, "They are so bullying and harming our people, are we just going to sit here and do nothing? I can't stand this." Qingyun, calm down. Chen Daoran said solemnly, thinking that the more it is at this time, the more important it is to put the family first. Now, Sha Uiyuan has reached the foundation building stage. Do you want to die facing a foundation building cultivator? Although the clan leader has the strength to kill Sha Uiyuan, don't forget that there is more than one foundation building cultivator in Zhao family now. There is also Zhao Cheng. Once the clan leader leaves the clan, what should we do if Zhao Cheng takes advantage of the opportunity to kill us? Does our Chen family have a second foundation building cultivator who can fight against him? If the clan leader goes to the psychedelic island, who will take care of the safety of the clan? There are more than 9,000 immortal blood here. They are all our blood compatriots. How can we let them be put in danger? Not only Chen Qingyun, but also other people felt that this concern was justified when they heard it. At the same time, I felt powerless in the face of the gap in strength. What Daoran said is right. This is what I am most worried about. Chen Xian sighed heavily, feeling very helpless. As the leader of the clan, I must take the overall situation into consideration and consider the interests of the family before taking action. I don't want to see Zhao Cheng come to Lingjian Island as soon as I leave the family, threatening you and putting you in danger. Spirit Sword Island is our foundation and there is no room for any mistakes. When everyone heard what the old patriarch said, they all expressed understanding. Just saw Chen Chengzi's appearance. Then thinking about Chen Qing's death in battle, and Chen Daoning's serious injuries and dying, he felt indignant and really wanted to seek revenge from the Zhao family. But in order to take care of the overall interests of the family, you must not act impulsively now. Must remain calm and rational. You must not act privately. If you want to take revenge, you still have to work hard to improve your strength and reach the foundation building stage. The disparity in strength between the Qi refining stage and the foundation building stage is huge. You cannot win by relying on numbers alone. Chen Xianming said seriously. He was worried that someone in the family would act impulsively and seek revenge from Zhao Sha Uiyuan. Then, we just sit back and let the psychedelic island fall into the hands of the Zhao family? Shouldn't King's revenge be avenged? Chen Qingyun beat his chest and said, gritting his teeth, hating his lack of strength. Everyone fell silent after hearing this, and their feeling of aggrievedness became even stronger. No, family. Chen Qingyun clenched his silver teeth, his eyes showed anger, and he couldn't help but clenched his fists. The psychedelic island was robbed, the tribesmen died tragically, and the income of the spiritual field dropped sharply. For the Chen family, no one can swallow this breath. Chen Qingyun watched the reactions of his clan members throughout the process, secretly memorizing the name Zhao Sha Uiyuan, and a chill flashed in his eyes. Hey, this is what I am anxious to summon you to talk about. In recent times, you should be more careful with the Zhao family monks. If you encounter any trouble that is difficult to solve, you must put your life first. 10 years are never too late for a gentleman to take revenge. We still need to accumulate strength and work harder to practice. As long as a person lives, these grievances can be recovered slowly. My Chen family will definitely avenge this. Chen Xianming's voice spread to every corner of the hall and fell clearly into the ears of every clan member. 10 years? Chen Qingyun's eyes darkened and he remained silent. Can you endure it for 10 years? How can the Zhao family be allowed to dance for so long? Qingyun. At this time, Chen Xianming's eyes fell on Chen Qingyun, and he looked guilty. It was you who discovered the spiritual veins of Psychedelic Island. And it was you who asked the family to take over it out of good intentions. But now it has fallen into the hands of foreign enemies. It is embarrassing to say that. Everyone's eyes fell on Chen Qingyun, thinking of the Psychedelic Island being taken away. Chen Qingyun was even more angry than them. I don't blame the family for this. Chen Qingyun said. To blame. Just blame the Zhao family for seeking death. Chapter 80, Attachment and Reluctance, as long as you understand. Seeing that Chen Qingyun looked calm and did not show any desire to shout or kill, Chen Xianming nodded slowly. Although The spiritual vein of Psychedelic Island was taken away and fell into the hands of the Zhao family. The 2,000 meritorious service given to you by the family still counts. You can still use these merit points to exchange resources within the family. The rewards that the family rewards you will be honored even if I am no longer here. You can rest assured of this. Chen Qingyun listened and nodded slowly. He doesn't care now whether the merit points still count. The resources that have been taken away should be regained as soon as possible. After continuing to discuss the issue of Psychedelic Island for a while, Chen Xianmin announced that the meeting was adjourned. Okay, remember what I said today? Everyone calm down and continue to do what you are doing. Even if the sky of the Chen family collapses, I will still be able to hold it up with my old bones. Chen Xianming stood up and looked at Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun, with expectations on their faces. Qingyun, you, like my uncles and grandpa, are the family's successors. You must practice well. This meeting. By the end, the atmosphere was solemn. Everyone present realized the lack of strength. This time I was bullied by the Zhao family, so I could only break my teeth and swallow it. Everyone had an unprecedented idea of improving their strength. Out of the meeting hall. Chen Qingyun and others followed Chen Xianmin all the way to visit Chen Daoning's mansion. After entering the room, they saw Chen Daoning lying quietly on the bed. Hearing the footsteps of his clansmen, the family elder turned his head slightly. Only after seeing the arrival of Chen Qingyun and others did those turbid eyes regain their luster. You are here. At this time, Chen Daoning was low on energy, his face looked haggard, and he could no longer get out of bed, so he could only say hello reluctantly. Chen Qingyun came to the bedside and looked at the 70-year-old elder in front of him. For a moment, he felt sad in his heart. He noticed that Chen Daoning's breath was weak, as if he was on his deathbed. This was a sign of death. When Chen Qingyun saw Chen Daoning like this, the corners of his eyes couldn't help but ache. Fifth, Grandpa. She stepped forward and knelt down, holding the old man's hand. Chen Daoren, Chen Qingfeng and others around him also had expressions of intolerance. Daoning, your body? Chen Daohai asked, his tone full of worry. This is his older brother, whom he grew up with and practiced together. Decades have passed in the blink of an eye, and time has passed by like a fleeting cloud. Who would have thought? The fifth brother was still smiling at the end of the year a while ago, saying that he would double the production capacity of Lingshan this year. Now he was lying on this bed seriously injured. Like the candle in the wind, it will be extinguished at any time. Dao, hi, I'm dying. Chen Qingzi sighed and spoke, his expression full of nostalgia and the desire to see the family prosper. The corners of Chen Qingyun's eyes became wet, he resisted choking and turned his head to the side. Chen Daoren put his hand on Chen Daoning's shoulder, used his true energy to explore the injury. After realizing that there was no way he could save himself, a look of sadness appeared on his face, and he sighed secretly in his heart. I didn't know how to speak for a moment. Qingzi. Chen Daoning turned his head with difficulty, looked at Chen Qingzi who looked haggard and had gray hair beside him, and tried to sit up with difficulty. When Chen Daoren saw this, he quickly motioned to him not to move around and to lie down. Chen Daoning forced a smile, looked at Chen Qingzi with turbid eyes, and said with a look of self-blame, I'm incompetent, I couldn't protect King. Before he finished speaking, he coughed violently. Visibly coughing up blood from the corner of his mouth, his body was trembling. Uncle, 5. Chen Qingzi looked tired, shook his head slightly and said, it's not your fault, you'd better recuperate now. Why? Seeing Chen Qingzi like this, Chen Daoning said nothing more. He took a few breaths, looked at Chen Qingyun again, and waved with difficulty. Qingyun, please come over here. Hearing this, Chen Qingyun took a few steps forward and stood beside Chen Qingyun. You have grown up and are taller than me. The white-haired old man who was lying in bed was no longer able to get up, so he could only look at Chen Qingyun with a guilty look on his face. I am ashamed of you for not being able to defend the Psychedelic Island. I watched you grow up, and I held you in my arms when you were a baby. 5th, Grandpa, I'm afraid that I won't be able to survive. I won't be able to watch you continue to grow and become the second foundation-building monk of our Chen family and benefit the family. Please, take a good look at the scenery at the end of this fairy road for me. 5th, Grandpa, you don't have to feel guilty. I don't blame you. Chen Qingyun stood with his head bowed, feeling sour in his heart. As long as you don't blame me. When Chen Daoning heard this, a big stone fell on his heart. He raised his eyes and looked at Chen Xianming again. Clan leader, I have accumulated some spiritual stones, 2 magic weapons, and several notes on planting spiritual fields over the years. I cannot take these with me after I die, so I will leave them to the family. As he spoke, Chen Daoning took the storage bag from his waist tremblingly. Seeing his action, Chen Daoren sighed and reached out to help him remove the storage bag. There aren't many of these things, so I'll leave them all to you. After I die, bury me next to King. Finally, he raised his eyes, with a look of nostalgia for the world, and looked at everyone one by one. Chen Daoning felt drowsy. He resisted the fatigue, and his last gaze fell on Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun one by one. Qingyun, do you still remember what the genealogy of our Chen family is? Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun looked at each other. The two looked at the old man on the bed and responded in unison. The immortal way is evergreen. Remember the virtuous and think about progress. Know books and observe etiquette, and be clear about the sea of stars. Remember. After the last 3 words came out, Chen Daoning didn't say anything and slowly closed his eyes. His breathing also slowed down and weakened until it stopped. This family elder has not seen the substantial increase in the output of the spiritual field that he has been thinking about. He has not seen the birth of the second foundation building cultivator in the Chen family. He didn't see the Zhao family's culprits being killed by the Chen family and the Chen family taking back the psychedelic island. He didn't even have a good time to enjoy his old age. He just took a last look at the clansmen around him. He remembered their appearance firmly. He passed away with deep reluctance to leave his family. 5th, Grandpa. Feeling the old man's palm gradually getting cold, Chen Qingyun finally couldn't hold it anymore. Tears welled up in her eyes and she choked and cried. Chen Daohai, Chen Xianming and others were also heartbroken. They gathered around the old man and called out to him, trying to wake him up. But no matter how they called, Chen Daoning couldn't hear. Looking at the white-haired old man on the bed, there was still a look of reluctance on his face before he died. Recalling the old man's guilty questioning before, Chen Qingyun felt a huge sadness in his heart. At the same time, there was a monstrous hatred. No, family. Chen Daoning's funeral was very simple. After the old man passed the 7th day, the family followed his wishes. The relics left by him and Chen Qing were buried together in the family tomb on Lingjian Island, and the tombstone was erected next to Chen Qing. The Chen family, which originally had 24 cultivators, now only has 22. In the empty and lonely tomb. Tombstones stand neatly in a row. From the Xian generation to the Qing generation, spanning several generations, the deceased in the family are buried here. One by one, the family cultivators withered and were separated from each other forever. Their laughter, joy, anger, sorrow and happiness, all remain in the memory of the clan members forever. They left a thick stroke on the family tree. In the past few days, the atmosphere in the clan has become depressing. Everyone worked harder than before in doing things and practicing. They started to be busy all day. After watching the old man and his brother being buried, Chen Qingyun set off to leave Lingjian Island and flew all the way to Zhenhai Island. Back to Zhenhai Island. Seeing that Chen Qingyun came back after 7 days, he looked a little sad. Chen Qingyun vaguely guessed something. She asked if anyone in the family had passed away. It was Grandpa Wu and Brother 7. Chen Qingyun told Chen Qingyun about the psychedelic island. After Chen Qingyun heard it, a sad look appeared on her face and she didn't speak for a long time. Both of them were silent for a long time, and Chen Qingyun slowly raised his head, looked at Chen Qingyun and asked, "Sister Wu, do you want to avenge Grandpa Wu and Brother 7? Chapter 81 Revenge. Chen Qingyun was stunned for a moment when he heard this, and nodded firmly. Think. But, she soon felt a little powerless. No, Sha Hunyuan has reached the foundation building stage. He is far beyond what we can contend with. Our strength is not enough. Yes. Chen Qingyun let out a long sigh, and immediately, a glimmer of light flashed in his eyes. We may not be able to deal with him for the time being, but the 5 Zhao family monks staying on the psychedelic island are not in the foundation building stage. Qingyun, you have to go. After spending so long with Chen Qingyun still couldn't guess what Chen Qingyun was thinking. No, Sha Hunyuan must also be guarding the psychedelic island. If you go, it will be too dangerous. It's okay. Chen Qingyun showed a solemn expression. Since I take action, I will have a way to deal with them. After chatting with Chen Qingyun for a while and telling him that he would not act recklessly, Chen Qingyun returned to his residence that night. Sit cross-legged. It has been more than a year since he reached the 8th level of Qi refining. I have been practicing recently, refining spirit stones and spirit wood essences to assist my practice. The cultivation level is only one step away from the 9th level of Qi refining. The original plan was to fall into place. It will take a month or two to break through this level. Now Sha Hunyuan and others did evil and killed the monks of the Chen family, which made Chen Qingyun decide to enter the 9th level of Qi refining early. Attack this level tonight. Taking a deep breath, he took out the spirit tree essence and swallowed it in one gulp. After the refining was completed, the true energy in the body became stronger. Not enough. Chen Qingyun continued to take out the spirit stones and began to refine the spiritual energy in the spirit stones. 1 coin, 2 coins, 10 coins, 100 coins. With the continuous consumption of spirit stones, time also flies by. In the middle of the night, after refining the 152nd spirit stone, Chen Qingyun's spiritual power shook. The infuriating energy became thicker, and the aura on his body suddenly rose a bit. The 9th level of Qi refining. Chen Qingyun opened his eyes, a flash of light flashed in his eyes. After sorting himself out for a while, he took advantage of the night to fly away from Zhenhai Island. Flying all the way towards the Enchanted Island. Psychedelic Island is about more than 1,000 miles away from Zhenhai Island. Under the extremely fast speed of Hunyuan, he quickly reached his destination. In order to avoid attracting attention, alert the snake too early. When he was still nearly 1,000 feet away from Zhenhai Island, Chen Qingyun released the water puppet. The aqua blue figure escaped into the sea and explored towards the Enchanted Island. Under the deep night. A cold moon is reflected in the sea. The salty and wet sea breeze blew in the face, spreading a bloody smell. Under the seemingly calm sea, there are predators lurking, hunting. The water puppet moves forward in the sea. After approaching the psychedelic island all the way. After confirming that he could get close, Chen Qingyun immediately boarded the island. Just got off the boat. He put away the water puppet, and then controlled the earth puppet to explore the island. Under the cover of night. The earth puppet escaped into the ground and headed to the center of the island, where the spiritual veins were located. Takers of spiritual fields first came into view. There are several thatched houses located around, which look very simple. Several figures appeared in the open space in front of the thatched house, sitting together, and bursts of laughter could be heard from time to time. 5 people in total. In terms of strength, it is between the 5th and 8th levels of Qi refining. Sha Hunyuan didn't see it. Chen Qingyun frowned subconsciously, took out the hidden gauze, and immediately covered his figure, extinguishing his breath. The Chen family is really cowardly. They don't dare to take it back if their spiritual veins are stolen. Ha 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 ha. A family monk laughed, his expression full of pride. When you beheaded that kid yesterday, why didn't you leave a whole body? I saw that he had a delicate face, so I liked this. Another family monk said with a strange smile, drank the wine in the glass in one gulp, and licked his mouth. Drink less, the second elder told me. Be careful of the Chen family coming to attack. Hey, with the second elder sitting in charge, only the old man Chen Xianmin dares to come in. Who else dares to come because they think they have lived too long? That's right. The clan leader is always keeping an eye on the Chen family. Once Chen Xianming leaves Linjian Island, the Chen family will be exterminated. Come on, keep drinking. The Chen family won't come. Amid the chatter and laughter, these Zhao family monks were fearless and not at all worried that the Chen family would actually come here to kill them. Zhao Hunyuan, who is in the foundation building stage, is here to take charge unless Chen Xianming comes in person. Otherwise, no matter which monk from the Chen family comes here, it is equivalent to coming to die. In the eyes of the foundation building monks, there is no difference between 1 qi refining monk and 10 qi refining monks. And the 5 of them are not vegetarians. Their cultivation has reached the middle or late stage of qi refining. If the Chen family was really impulsive, Chen Xianming would take action himself to attack the island. This result is what the Zhao family wants to see most. By then, there will be no foundation building monks on Linjian Island. Once Zhao Cheng takes action, won't Linjian Island be captured? The Zhao family currently has 2 foundation building monks, so it is much easier to move around than the Chen family. Nearly 1,000 feet away from the 5 people, Chen Qingyun was investigating the actions of the 5 Zhao family monks, with murderous intent in his eyes. He had already thought of a countermeasure before deciding to take action. How to deal with these Zhao family monks. How to kill Zhao Hunyuan with all your strength. If you fail, how can you get away safely? At the moment, Zhao Hunyuan is not found here. If you set up the inverted 5 elements array in advance, it is obviously impossible to trap Zhao Hunyuan in the array. Now is not the best time to set up the array. Chen Qingyun flipped his palm. 2 puppets appeared, maintaining the state of miniature men. Together with the earth puppet underground, they rushed towards the 5 Zhao family cultivators. The 3 puppets of the 9th level of Qi training attacked at the same time. As long as Zhao Hunyuan did not attack, they were enough to kill the 5 Zhao family cultivators here. Chen Qingyun came here this time with the intention of killing them, and he must kill these 5 people first. The 3 puppets took advantage of the cover of the night and quickly approached. The fire puppet took the lead in killing. With a clap of his palm, he shot a fire bomb technique, and 6 or 7 fire bombs burst out. What's that sound? A Zhao family cultivator heard the noise and subconsciously looked in the direction of the sound. What caught his eyes were several blazing fireballs coming at him. Enemy, attack! A loud shout rang out. The other 4 Zhao family cultivators were also frightened and shouted, and they dispersed one after another, each offering their magic weapons, and their movements were very experienced. Few. The previous Zhao family cultivator was only at the 7th level of Qi refining. Facing the full strength attack of the fire puppet, out of underestimation, he raised his hand and condensed a shield with magic power to block in front of him. I thought he could resolve this wave of fireballs. But the next moment there were several loud rumbling noises. The 2 fireballs in front directly blew up the magic shield, erupting a blazing wave. Immediately afterwards, the 4 fireballs behind him exploded after they touched his body. In a flash. This intensity of attack directly blew the Zhao family cultivator into powder. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 82. Reverse the 5 elements and set up the formation. The first time the fire puppet took action, it showed its power. A fire spell strikes. Killed a 7th level Qi refining monk with 1 move. Such amazing strength immediately shocked the other 4 people. How is that possible? A Zhao family monk's eyes widened. The same accomplices who were talking, laughing and drinking a while ago. In the blink of an eye, it was blown to pieces. Not even the dregs were left. This scene was really shocking. What the hell is this? Another monk from the Zhao family exclaimed in surprise. He was struck with a sword by the earth puppet that rushed out of the ground, and he had no time to react. The next moment, the man let out a scream. Ah, no! His whole body was penetrated by a sword from his crotch, his danshan was shattered, and he died immediately. Killed the second Zhao family monk. In the night. Chen Qingyun in the distance had cold eyes. With the power of spiritual control that transcends the same realm. At the same time, the emperor commanded the three puppets to take action and launched a fierce killing spree. There is no intention of being soft at all. The three puppets of earth, water and fire each performed spells and revealed their ores. The three puppets hit the remaining three Zhao family monks respectively. This caused the three members of the Zhao family to panic. 9th level of Qi refining. Ah, what the hell is this? There was a sound of panic. They only fought for 1 or 2 rounds. After they discovered the powerful strength of the puppet, they all showed fear. On the island. In the ancient cave where the spiritual energy is the strongest. A figure suddenly rushed out and quickly headed towards the fighting area. Chen Qingyun is here? This person is none other than Zhao Hunyuan, who made the Chen family gnash their teeth. It was also the culprit who severely injured Chen Daoning. Seeing the three juniors being suppressed by the three puppets. A fierce look flashed across Zhao Hunyuan's face. He glanced around solemnly. When he saw that there was no trace of the monks from the Chen family, he couldn't help but curse. "You're here and you're still hiding. Watch me pull this out." Hunyuan released his spiritual consciousness and quickly swept towards the surrounding area, carrying out a large-scale sweep. As a result, he discovered that his spiritual consciousness had been explored in a circle. Actually found nothing. The enemy's location could not be found at all. The other party seemed to be lurking like a ghost, with no trace to be found. How is this possible? Hunyuan looked in disbelief. How can the divine sense not detect it? After being promoted from the Qi refining stage to the foundation building stage. Except for the improvement of strength. The most significant change is that spiritual consciousness will transform into divine consciousness. With the help of divine consciousness, one can accurately detect the surrounding situation and environment. Even if there is a slight disturbance, it cannot be hidden from the ears of the foundation building monks. Make it impossible for lurkers to escape. But right now. Exploring with his spiritual sense, he could not find any trace of the other party. Who is this person? Hunyuan only felt a deep fear. It feels like being watched from the dark by a beast, which is very uncomfortable. Pretend to be a ghost. Forcibly suppressing the restlessness in his heart, Hunyuan shouted loudly. Decided to kill the three puppets first. At this time, with a scream for mercy, another Zhao family monk was quickly killed. The water-moving puppet used water-moving magic, condensed more than a dozen ice picks, and pierced a Zhao family monk alive in one fell swoop. Bright red blood stained the ground. Immediately afterwards, the three puppets each made some moves. They all temporarily gave up their attacks, transformed into many sizes, and jumped in front of the earth puppet. I saw the Tu Xing puppet stretching out his big hand and grabbing his two companions. Use your arms. A sudden throw. Two puppet companions were thrown towards the direction where Chen Qingyun was hiding. The earth-walking puppet followed closely behind, used the earth-walking technique, and quickly escaped into the ground. Want to run? It's not that easy. Seeing that the three puppets were showing signs of retreating, Hunyuan felt happy. I thought it was Chen Qingyun who was afraid of him. He immediately showed excitement and chased after the water and fire puppets. The only two monks from the Zhao family who saw the three puppets retreating were startled for a moment, and then they also showed excitement. The other party saw Hunyuan appearing and didn't dare to take action again, right? You can't run away. One of them yelled. The two Zhao family monks followed Hunyuan and wanted to launch a counterattack. Not far away. Chen Qingyun covered his figure and aura with hidden spirit gauze. It blends into the surrounding environment. At this time. He manipulated the three puppets to move closer to him, not with the intention of escaping from the battlefield. But to deal with Hunyuan. The power of the 5 elements puppet is obviously not enough. Maybe I'll have to fold the puppet here. His means of killing Zhao Sha-Yuan were limited. The first is to use the golden sword talisman. Only by using this kind of talisman can it be possible to kill Zhao Sha-Yuan. Zhao Sha-Yuan must also be brought to his side. Only by triggering the golden sword talisman at a close range can you have hope of winning. Another method is to activate the inverted 5 elements formation. Trapped Zhao Sha-Yuan in the formation and tried to find a way to consume the opponent alive. You are definitely not Chen Qingyun. Chasing the puppet, Zhao Sha-Yuan showed strong murderous intent on his face. His eyes did not forget to look around. Still not finding any trace of Chen Qingyun, he couldn't help feeling aggrieved and started to question. Which member of the Chen family are you? The monks who came to attack must be from the Chen family. But inside the monks of the Chen family. Who has this means? Can you control 3 puppets at the 9th level of Qi refining at the same time? I have never heard of the Chen family having such amazing puppetry skills before. Chen Qingyun said nothing and ignored Zhao Sha-Yuan's inquiry. Seeing that the 3 of them had entered the range of 100 feet, they immediately controlled the fire puppet to turn around. With a huff, a fire dragon was unleashed, surging forward. Zhao Sha-Yuan narrowed his eyes and took out a blade-shaped magic weapon. With the full force of the magic weapon, it hit the fire dragon directly. With the powerful foundation-building power exerted, this white dragon blade dispersed the fire dragon in one blow. Such attacks do not pose the slightest threat in front of the foundation-building monks. Bang! At the same time, Zhao family monk activated a flying sword and struck the fire puppet fiercely. The flying sword was bounced away at once. Looking at the location where the fire puppet was chopped off, there was only a white mark left. The flying sword made a buzzing sound and flew back to the Zhao family monk's hand. The Zhao family monk's expression changed, and he secretly wondered why this puppet's defense was so strong. If you can't even cut away with a flying sword, how can you fight? Bang bang. On the other side, the Zhao family monk also discovered the same situation. Facing the attack of the water puppet. A first-level mid-grade thunder explosion talisman was cast. After the explosion, the puppet in front of him was unharmed. It doesn't have any effect. It's just a trick of a Qi refining monk in front of me. He's just a clown. Zhao Sha-Yuan used the white dragon blade and slashed at the water puppet. Faced with this crisis, the water puppet's body suddenly changed and turned into a stream of water rushing up to meet the attack. The white dragon blade seemed to be cutting into the water, stirring up some water splashes and penetrating straight through. This weird situation caused Zhao Sha-Yuan to raise his eyebrows. Just when Zhao Sha-Yuan was about to cast his spell, a figure suddenly appeared from under his feet and hugged his feet. What's going on? Facing the sudden blow, Zhao Sha-Yuan was stunned for a moment. He immediately came to his senses and looked down. It was the earth puppet that hugged his legs. He was firmly imprisoned in place. What kind of trick is the other party playing? Just when he was confused, Chen Qingyun saw the right opportunity and exposed himself without hesitation. With a wave of his hand, he took out 4 formation flags and threw them into the air. After receiving the order, the water and fire puppets spread out at full speed and took over the 2 formation flags respectively. Seeing the appearance of the streamer, Zhao Sha-Yuan and the other 2 people had not yet figured out what it was. Immediately afterwards, then they saw the 2 puppets moving rapidly around them. In the surrounding area, 4 formation flags were quickly planted. No, it's the formation. Zhao Sha-Yuan had sharp eyes, reacted. His expression changed and he shouted. His ankle was tightly grasped by the 2 Qing puppet. The earth and rocks on the ground also condensed into vines, binding him tightly, making it difficult to break free at this moment. The other 2 Zhao family monks also recognized the formation and felt bad. When he looked again, he saw that the formation had been activated. The power of the formation rose from the 4 formation flags and condensed into shape. A huge formation light curtain condensed and quickly enveloped it. The 3 of them, Zhao Sha-Yuan, were enveloped. Invert the 5 elements formation. Rise. Chapter 83, Kill the Foundation. The surrounding world changed. A vast forest landscape appeared. A large amount of thick fog emerged in the formation. There were sounds of insects and birds chirping around. The air was filled with the freshness of grass and trees. There were breezes blowing in the forest. What I saw, heard, and felt were also real. It was as if I was really in a primeval forest. What kind of formation is this? A family cultivator looked alert, looking at the surrounding scene, and didn't seem to feel any danger. He hadn't figured out the surrounding environment yet. A large area of fog rolled in and spread throughout the forest. The two family cultivators changed their expressions and realized that something was wrong. Boom. Hunyuan cast a spell to break free from the restraints of the earth puppet. He jumped up and looked at the direction of Chen Qingyun with a heavy look. Although he still couldn't see any figure. But because of the previous action of throwing the formation flag, Hunyuan could feel that there was a cultivator's breath there. Before he could make any move, the fog rolled in, completely covering Chen Qingyun's breath. At the same time, the three puppets slowly retreated, hiding in the fog with an indifferent look, and disappeared. The thick fog continued to move forward, covering more trees. There were bursts of high-pitched, continuous insect sounds around. The sound was like a spring cicada emerging from a cocoon, continuing to chirp, thick and long. The sound of cicadas in the fog made people feel weird and creepy. The two family cultivators saw this situation, and their faces were already in panic. Because they found that they could not see through the fog with their naked eyes. They could not see the situation in the fog, and there was something inside. After the three puppets disappeared into the fog, no trace could be found. Fear comes from the unknown. They didn't know when the next attack would come. Still, playing tricks. I'll find you. No. Hunyuan looked fierce, and he opened his consciousness to explore the fog. But he still found nothing. The foundation building consciousness swept away. After entering the fog, he was actually isolated and his consciousness was ineffective. This is impossible. No. Hunyuan felt a chill on his back. His consciousness had no effect here, and his vision was blocked. Fighting here is completely passive, just like a blind man. Who is this from the Chen family? Why is it so tricky? A burst of green light emerged in the fog. The appearance of this breath. It immediately attracted Hunyuan's attention, and his pupils shrank, and he felt a burst of surprise. Qi, refining cultivator? Feeling the strength of this breath, this thought emerged in Hunyuan's mind. Immediately, he quickly cast a magic barrier to protect himself firmly. With a clang, this foundation-building shield easily blocked the attack of the Qingguang sword. One sword went down. Chen Qingyun couldn't even break the opponent's defense, and he couldn't help but frown. It was indeed as the clan leader said. The gap between this foundation-building cultivator and the Qi-refining cultivator was indeed not a little bit. A small Qi-refining cultivator actually dared to come alone. No. Hunyuan couldn't help but sneer after blocking Chen Qingyun's attack. Chen Qingyun's means were just like this. But before the voice fell, a scream suddenly came from the mist. A family cultivator was chopped in horror by the earth puppet. A side of the mist was dyed red. No. Another family cultivator was also scared at this time. He began to control a flying sword and chopped around randomly. He was afraid that Chen Qingyun and the puppet were right next to him and would suddenly attack. Puff. A flash of sword light passed by, and a head rolled down. The water puppet was hidden in the mist. He found the right opportunity and chopped off the head of the Zhao family cultivator with a sword. Two Zhao family members were killed beside him, and Hunyuan's face was so gloomy that water was about to drip out. He tried his best to maintain the protective light curtain to resist any possible attacks from the surroundings. 9 streams of light appeared in the mist and shot at Hunyuan's body with a clang. The long Sima blade attacked, but it failed to break the defensive shield on Hunyuan's body. The 9 blades were bounced off and hidden in the mist. Chen's kid, come out and fight if you dare. No. Hunyuan gritted his teeth. The concealing and confusing effect of this formation made him feel very afraid. At the moment, not only could he not find Chen Qingyun's figure, he also had to deal with the attacks of the 3 puppets at any time. Chen Qingyun said nothing, His eyes were filled with murderous intent, and he naturally would not reveal his body. Feeling the rapid loss of mana, he turned the formation far away and controlled the three puppets, which continued to consume mana. Chen Qingyun took out the blood and qi pill and swallowed it. This kind of provocation obviously did not attract Chen Qingyun. Zhuxiantu's surroundings soon heard a stronger murderous intent. A puppet suddenly emerged from the ground. A sword stabbed fiercely on the protective light curtain, causing Zhuxiantu to roar angrily. Whoosh! Two more sword lights slashed fiercely on Zhuxiantu's body. Still no substantial damage was caused. Huji! A series of noises. A large amount of flame swept over, and the fog was rendered red. The fire puppet used fire magic to burn Zhuxiantu, and Zhuxiantu's eyes were as if he wanted to spit fire, and he felt the scorching temperature passing through the protective light curtain and transmitted to his body. He simply spread his body and ran wildly in the forest. Rumble. Trees were shattered by the impact. Zhuxiantu relied on his powerful foundation building magic power and rushed forward in an extremely domineering manner, forcibly opening a path out. It was impossible to determine where the attack would come from and when it would come. He simply controlled the flying sword and killed the surroundings. Seeing that Zhuxiantu fell into a state of madness, Chen Qingyun was not in a hurry to take action. Wearing a hidden spirit veil, he hid in a corner of the formation and continued to quickly refine the blood and qi pills, returning his magic power to 80% or 90%. He just watched Zhuxiantu rushing around and attacking randomly. He killed for a while. Soon after, he continued to maintain the protective light curtain. With a continuous output of mana, Zhuxiantu's mana was rapidly draining. Zhuxiantu had to take out the qi and blood pill and wanted to take it to replenish his qi, blood and mana. Swish! A green sword light whizzed past, accurately breaking the qi and blood pill in his hand and destroying the pill. The pill was split and the efficacy was lost. Zhuxiantu's face changed, and he hurriedly took out the qi and blood pill again. Another ray of light burst out, causing him to respond hastily. Just like that, Chen Qingyun controlled the Qingguang sword and the Wulong Sima blade at the same time. In addition, three puppets kept fighting Zhuxiantu, consuming his mana. The continuous attacks hit the body of this foundation building cultivator. The opponent's protective light curtain dimmed a lot, ready to break at any time. Zhuxiantu thought it was not good. After consuming 70% to 80% of his mana. He tried to take the qi and blood pill again. What greeted him was another series of attacks. This did not give him any chance to breathe, and his face turned red because of frustration. He used provocation to deal with Chen Qingyun several times. He wanted Chen Qingyun to speak and reveal his position. But Chen Qingyun never said a word. Chen Qingyun's mana had recovered to about 90% at this moment. Seeing that Zhuxiantu's breath was weakened and his mana was consumed greatly, he temporarily stopped attacking. Chen Qingyun wiped his palm across the storage bag. The 6 formation flags were taken out, and with the help of 3 puppets and under the cover of fog, they were quickly arranged around Zhuxiantu. This is the Zhuxian sword formation. Zhuxiantu found that the attacks around him stopped temporarily, but he was not yet relieved. He just took out the last qi and blood pill and prepared to take it. The next moment, he felt the sharp sword energy around him. Thousands of flying swords whistled. Sword lights drowned him. A series of clanging sounds rang out. Flying swords chopped, strangled, and tore at his body one after another. No. At this moment, Zhuxiantu felt deep despair. He didn't expect that one day he would be exhausted to death by a qi-refining cultivator. A strong feeling of unwillingness emerged in his heart. Zhuxiantu rushed around in the Zhuxian sword formation. He knocked away one flying sword after another, and the scene seemed very chaotic. Chen Qingyun in the distance raised his eyebrows slightly and continued to stay where he was without moving. 3 puppets stood on the periphery of the sword formation, ready to attack at any time, staring at Zhuxiantu in the sword formation. Only a few dozen breaths had passed. Under such high intensity, continuous, and dense strangulation of thousands of flying swords, with a hysterical and unwilling scream, The protective light curtain of the foundation building period finally couldn't bear it. With Al-Shah Hunyuan, it was shattered under the strangulation and tearing of thousands of flying swords and turned into ashes on the spot. A foundation building cultivator was wiped out in the sword formation. Even Al-Shah Hunyuan's storage bag exploded, and the items inside were scattered all over the ground. 6 Zhao family cultivators were killed. A strong smell of blood permeated the air. The sound of insects in the forest continued. In the mist, a figure slowly emerged, with 3 tall puppets standing beside him. Led by Chen Qingyun, the 3 puppets followed on one side and walked towards the place where Shah Hunyuan fell. Chapter 84 Returning to the family, inspiring. Chen Qingyun reached out and made a move, and the 6 formation flags turned into flowing light and disappeared into the storage bag on his waist. The small 1,000-sword formation was removed. After putting away the items scattered on the ground, Chen Qingyun let out a long sigh of relief. The first time to deal with the foundation building monks, it can be said that all methods were used. It took more than half an hour. Only then were the 5 Zhao family monks killed. Shah Hunyuan was consumed to death. This battle. Without the help of the 5 elements inversion formation, how could they have won so quickly? Although I have reached the peak of the Qi refining stage and have few opponents in the same realm, I am still not strong enough to face the foundation building monks. I must break through the foundation building stage as soon as possible. Chen Qingyun murmured to himself. Deeply aware of the gap in strength between the Qi refining stage and the foundation building stage. We need to practice harder in the future. The inverted 5 elements formation was slowly withdrawn and the formation flags were removed. Chen Qingyun put away the 3 puppets and immediately cleaned up the corpses of the Zhao family monks on the ground. The deep night is even deeper. Chen Qingyun stayed on the island for a while, checking whether there were any remnants of the Zhao family here. After entering the ancient cave and inspecting it carefully, he made sure that there were no more evil spirits left, and then he went to check the situation of the spiritual field. 10 acres of spiritual fields are neatly located beside the cave. The spiritual rice in the fields is swaying in the evening wind, making a rustling sound. In this calm night, it seemed that in front of Chen Qingyun, he was recounting his longing for Chen Daoning, Chen Qing and the 2 of them. Standing on the edge of the spiritual field, Chen Qingyun couldn't help but think about people. The thoughts are somewhat sad. The morning light breaks. On the blue sea, at the end of the sky, a sunrise is slowly rising. All things in the world have spent a long night and come to life at this moment in the morning. Zhenhai Island. Chen Qingyun stood on the island, calling for Chen Qingyun to show up. Morning. Chen Qingyun was not seen practicing towards the rising sun as usual. Searching around the island, there was no trace. Chen Qingyun guessed that his 6th brother must have gone to the psychedelic island alone to seek revenge on Shah Hunyuan and others. This made her worry about Chen Qingyun's safety all morning. If it weren't for the fact that she couldn't leave Zhenhai Island, she would have wanted to fly to Psychedelic Island several times. Sensing the worry on 5th sister's face, Chen Qingyun smiled. 5th sister, I have avenged the revenge of 5th grandfather and 7th brother. I'm going back to my family now. You stay on Zhenhai Island. I should be back in the afternoon. After informing the 5th sister, Chen Qingyun sent the Fian boat to soar into the sky. Without waiting for Chen Qingyun to respond, the figure disappeared in the blink of an eye. Shah Hunyuan was killed all at once. Chen Qingyun stood there blankly, looking dazed for a while. Shah Hunyuan is a monk in the foundation building stage. How did Qingyun do it? But it would be nice to come back. Just come back safely. Flying all the way back to Linjian Island. Chen Qingyun flew directly to Chen Xianming's mansion. Qingyun. Seeing Chen Qingyun appear, Chen Xianming looked stunned. Immediately, the old patriarch smiled again. Why did you come back if you didn't stay on Zhenhai Island? Clan leader. Let's take a step to talk first. Chen Qingyun saluted and followed the clan leader into the mansion. Take a seat in the mansion. Chen Qingyun mentioned the psychedelic island. When Chen Xianming heard this, he thought that Chen Qingyun was going to act impulsively and seek revenge, so he had to stop Chen Qingyun from acting recklessly. The next moment he saw Chen Qingyun wave his hand, take out two things from the storage bag, and place them on the ground. Those were two heads, the heads of two Zhao family monks. This is... Chen Xianming narrowed his eyes. It's Dao Yuhao, Dao Yizu from the Zhao family. With just two glances, he recognized the origins of those two people. It was the two Zhao family monks who participated in the capture of Psychedelic Island. This made Chen Xianming look shocked and looked at Chen Qingyun in surprise. Qingyun, did you go to the Psychedelic Island? The old patriarch observed his words and guessed that Chen Qingyun might have returned from the Psychedelic Island. Otherwise, he would not have the heads of these two Zhao family monks in his hands. I did go to Psychedelic Island last night. Chen Qingyun nodded heavily. Only two of Zhao Sha-Uiyuan and others left their complete heads behind. The bodies of the remaining four people were shattered into pieces and turned into fly ash and disappeared between the sky and the earth. The appearance of these two heads can prove that the great revenge of grandfather Daoning and younger brother King has been avenged. You had an ear miss this time and killed two of them. Don't act so impulsively next time. Chen Xianming showed a solemn look and glanced at Chen Qingyun. He didn't see any injuries on Chen Qingyun, so he breathed a sigh of relief. He didn't wait for Chen Qingyun's response. The old patriarch continued. Then, Dao Sha-Uiyuan's cultivation has reached the foundation building stage, which is not easy for you to deal with. If you can, stay away. The family will find a way to deal with him. If I find a chance in the future, I will kill Zhao Sha-Uiyuan for teasing him. There was anger and helplessness in the old patriarch's words. If there is an opportunity in the future, when will it take? At least during this period, he couldn't leave Linjian Island. We need to guard this spiritual island and protect the Chen clan's immortal clan. This is also the helplessness of the leader of the clan and the only foundation-building monk in the Chen family. Not just the two of them. Chen Qingyun straightened his expression and looked into Chen Xianming's eyes. Including Dao Sha-Uiyuan, I have killed all the other three Zhao family monks. I didn't spare any of the Zhao family monks who attacked the Psychedelic Island the night before yesterday. I avenged my fifth grandfather and seventh brother. What? After hearing Chen Qingyun's words, even Chen Xianming, who had always been calm, lost his mind and couldn't stay calm. You killed Zhao Sha-Uiyuan and 6 people alone? The old patriarch was very excited and reached out to grab Chen Qingyun's shoulders, feeling unbelievable. With Chen Qingyun's strength, how did he kill Zhao Sha-Uiyuan? Qingyun, tell me about this. Seeing the old patriarch's appearance, there was doubt in his words. Chen Qingyun told the story of killing Zhao Sha-Uiyuan and 6 people last night seriously. Including the 5 elements puppet. The actions of the 2 formations were not concealed. Listening to Chen Qingyun's story, Chen Xianming was stunned and in shock for a long time. It was not until Chen Qingyun took the initiative to greet him that the old patriarch came back to his senses. Fortunately, this battle was safe for you. Your 3 puppets are quite good. I won't ask about the reason. You should not expose them too much in front of outsiders. The other 2 formations are the key to your victory. You use them very well. Haha, Dao Sha-Uiyuan would never have thought that he would fall into your hands one day. This time you killed 6 of them, which is really gratifying. After learning about the experience, Chen Xianming's depression was dissipated and he showed a happy smile. Chen Qingyun smiled faintly. Recalling Zhao Shad and Zhao Yimin who had been killed before. With these 6 people, the Zhao family must have been seriously injured and would never dare to act rashly in front of the Chen family again. Qingyun, I'm going to tell Daoning and King about the good news you brought this time. Northern Linjian Island. Family tomb. Chen Xianming picked up 2 glasses of wine and poured them in front of the tombstones of Chen Daoning and Chen King respectively. Daoning, King, Qingyun has avenged your hatred for you. He bowed to Chen Daoning and Chen King again. You can rest in peace. With Qingyun in our Chen family, The family will surely become more and more prosperous. You must also bless Qingyun to be safe and sound. Qingyun's current cultivation has also reached the 9th level of Qi refining. Soon, our Chen family will have a second foundation building cultivator. The family has a promising future, and you can also smile in the grave. The old patriarch stood in front of the tombstone and chattered for a long time. Chen Qingyun looked at it quietly, feeling the bleak and lonely atmosphere here, and felt a surge of bitterness in his heart. In the future, if he unfortunately dies young, he will also be buried here. The family should also add more cultivators. On that day. When the family monks learned that 6 members of the family Zhao Hunyuan were killed. King and Daoning had their revenge. Many members of the family felt that the frustration in their hearts had been swept away, and finally there was joy on their faces. The revenge has been taken. The revenge has been taken. I heard from the clan leader that Qingyun avenged Daoning and King. How did Qingyun do it? Good, good. Now the revenge has been taken, and the spirits of King and Daoning can rest in peace. Thanks to Qingyun this time, good boy. This news spread quickly in the family, which was undoubtedly exciting. Chen Qingyun's eyes were filled with tears, and the originally depressed mood was dissipated. He was grateful to Chen Qingyun for helping the family this time and killing the enemies for Chen Daoning and Chen King. Chen Daohai, Chen Daoran and others also recovered some spirits, and ran to the tombstones of Chen Daoning and Chen King to tell about this. He stayed in the family for half a day. In the afternoon, Chen Qingyun set off to return to Zhenhai Island. When Chen Qingyun's figure disappeared in the sky. On Lingjian Island. An old father with gray hair knelt down in the direction where Chen Qingyun left and kowtowed 3 times. Qingyun, Uncle Qi owes you. When he raised his head again, Chen Qingzi was already in tears. Chapter 85 Blood Coagulation True Essence Power. On the day when Chen Qingyun left. Chen Xianmin sent Chen Daohai and Chen Qingfeng to recapture the psychedelic island. Recently, the family also needs to send people to manage the spiritual fields on the psychedelic island. The death of Daoning and King has made the family more short of manpower, and they have to look for new candidates. Or they can only temporarily put aside the cultivation of spiritual fields on the psychedelic island. The helplessness of a small family. Chen Xianmin sighed. Fortunately, the Chen family still has Qingyun, Qingnan, Qingyun, and Qingfeng, several outstanding descendants. In the past few days, Chen Xianmin's hair has turned a lot white. Fortunately, with Chen Qingyun, the great revenge of the clan members has been avenged, which makes Chen Xianmin feel a lot more relaxed physically and mentally. When he thought of Chen Qingyun's current cultivation, he had reached the 9th level of Qi refining and could prepare for foundation building. The old patriarch's face occasionally showed a smile, sweeping away the previous haze. Yuanzhu Island, family hall. A series of smashing sounds were heard, mixed with Cheng's angry curses. The Zhao family's senior officials in the hall were silent. Sha Hunyuan is a foundation building cultivator. As long as Chen Xianmin, the old man, doesn't take action, who else can threaten him? Who can kill him? No. Cheng was furious. Don't just stand there, go check. See, which bastard killed my Zhao family's foundation building cultivator. I must skin him alive. No. Sha Hunyuan was beheaded, and 5 Zhao family cultivators in the middle and late stages of Qi training died together on the psychedelic island. This was definitely a serious blow to the Zhao family. The family's strength was reduced by half in an instant. Counting Zhao Shad and Zhao Yimin who died outside before. The Zhao family has not been able to find out who won the game between the two and what happened. But they guessed that this matter must be related to the Chen family. On the vast sea, Chen Qingyun braved the wind and waves all the way, naturally unaware that the Zhao family had become a mess. All the way back to Zhenhai Island. After informing Chen Qingyun went straight back to his residence and began to count the gains from the battle on Psychedelic Island. A total of 5 storage bags. There are quite a few spirit stones inside, adding up to 1,233 pieces. There are 8 magic tools, ranging from first grade low grade to first grade high grade. 26 bottles of elixirs, mainly qi and blood pills and rejuvenation pills for treating injuries. There are more than 30 talismans, all of which are first grade. There are more than 10 books of exercises, all of which cannot be checked. The Zhao family has set up restrictions, and outsiders cannot get involved. Looking at these resources, it can be seen intuitively. They are also purchasing resources on a large scale, but they have stockpiled a lot of talismans, elixirs, etc. Chen Qingyun quickly counted them and then checked the items left by Zhao Sha. Spirit stones and pills, etc., are about the same as the sum of the previous 5 storage bags. As for magic tools, there are 3. One of them is a first-grade magic tool, the Bingbei Long Blade. There are 16 spiritual talismans, 10 of which are first-grade medium-grade and 6 of which are first-grade high-grade. What Chen Qingyun is most concerned about is a technique called blood condensation true essence gong. The technique is not from the Zhao family, and it can be read at will. After spending some time to check and figure out the content of the technique, Chen Qingyun finally realized. No wonder the Zhao family has no foundation building pills, but Zhao Sha can break through to the foundation building stage. It turns out that it is related to this blood condensing true essence. This technique records. Qi refining cultivators can combine the blood and true qi by condensing the essence in their bodies. There will be a 1/3 chance of condensing the foundation building true essence to achieve the effect of foundation building. Thus breaking through to the foundation building stage. However, this has a side effect. There will be no improvement in the realm after that. 1/3 of the probability of foundation building, and the cultivation level cannot be improved in the future. Zhao Sha is willing to give it up. Chen Qingyun showed a thoughtful look. Forever stop at the foundation building stage. It is equivalent to ruining the future path. Is this technique good? Think carefully, for those cultivators who cannot obtain the foundation building pill, have no hope of foundation building, and their own lifespan is coming to an end. Practicing this blood condensation true essence gong to build the foundation is also a good result. The lifespan of a foundation building cultivator can reach up to 300 years. This extra lifespan of more than 100 years is too attractive for a cultivator in the qi refining stage. Some people will definitely choose to practice this blood condensation true essence gong. This Zhao Sha is one of them. My current cultivation level is already high enough to reach the foundation building stage, and I still have about 40 years to build my foundation. This blood condensation true essence technique is obviously not suitable for me to practice. I must not ruin my path because of a temporary increase in strength. As for the family, Chen Qingyun recalled a group of family cultivators. Except for his second brother Chen Qingfeng, who joined the Xingzong. At present, only Chen Douhai is qualified to practice this blood condensation true essence technique. Chen Douhai is at the 8th level of qi refining and is now 74 years old, which is already past the best age for foundation building. If this technique is given to Grandpa Douhai to practice, although it will block his future path, but with the hope of rebuilding the foundation, he can extend his lifespan. Is it to continue to waste time in the qi refining stage until his lifespan is about to end? Or is it to spend the price of ruining the path and try to enter the foundation building stage to get the opportunity to extend his lifespan? How to choose between the two requires careful consideration. It is even more necessary for the family to discuss, and Chen Douhai will make the decision himself. Calculate the time. The next time Chen Douhai and his friends come to the island to collect hematite is not far away. At that time, hand over this technique to the family. It will not be left in the hands of the technique to be covered in dust. Handing it over to the family is obviously the best result. Put away the technique. The things left by Zhao Sha and a few pieces of ore attracted Chen Qingyun's attention. The ore is black, like a magnet, about the size of a fist, and there are 4 pieces in total. This is the Moonyan stone born in the Hun land. Recognizing these pieces of ore, Chen Qingyun's eyes moved. This is a first-level medium-quality material, ranked in the gold attribute, and can be used to refine common magic tools on the market. For a refiner, This is a good thing. Keeping it for refining a gold puppet is obviously a good choice. Chen Qingyun put away a few Hunyuan stones with satisfaction. After a final inspection, the remaining items were all daily necessities. After destroying them all, Chen Qingyun put the magic weapons he had obtained together. There were 11 magic weapons in total. The white dragon blade was a magic weapon made from the claws of a dragon, and it had extremely strong attack power. Chen Qingyun played with it for a while and decided to keep it. The remaining 10 magic weapons. He did not choose to disassemble them. Instead, he prepared to strengthen the grade and give some equipment to the family monks. After experiencing the incident of the psychedelic island being seized by the Zhao family. In addition to the approaching Star Sea monster tide, Chen Qingyun thought that he had to improve the combat effectiveness of the family monks as soon as possible. At home. There were 8 family monks recruited by the Star sect, excluding Chen Qingyun. These 10 magic weapons were enough for distribution. Arrange them according to the grade. 4 first grade low grade. 4 first grade middle grade. 2 first grade high grade. A total of 60 points of enhancement were spent, and these 10 magic weapons were soon enhanced to the first class top grade. The magic weapon enhancement was completed. Follow up. Just wait for Chen Dohai and others to come to Zhenhai Island. At that time, let them bring 8 magic weapons back to the family. The distribution of magic weapons will be discussed by the family or arranged by Chen Xianmin. 8 magic weapons, 1 for each person. After enhancement, the array pattern, appearance, and power of the magic weapons have changed greatly. Don't worry about being recognized where these magic weapons come from. There is no rush to put these magic weapons away. Chen Qingyun waved his hand and took out 3 more puppets. The 3 puppets moved in the palm of his hand, turned into a person's size, and stood in front of him. Looking at the 3 puppets in front of him standing with a dull face. Recalling the battle on the psychedelic island. Chen Qingyun discovered. Whether it is earth, water, or fire puppets, they are not suitable for long-distance combat. Maybe you can try to equip them with some magic weapons. Make up for their inability to fight at a long distance. Improve the combat power of their puppets. Chen Qingyun looked at the row of magic weapons in front of him, stroking his chin and pondering. What kind of magic weapon is suitable for them to perform long-range attacks? Chapter 86 Gold Puppet. Looking at the 11 newly obtained magic weapons, all of them have reached the first level of top quality. Chen Qingyun chose among them. In the end, I chose the Xuanzong Axe, the Burning Sun Bow and the Blue Wave Halberd. These 3 magic weapons are equipped with 3 puppets respectively. The Earth Puppet holds a mysterious heavy axe. The Water Puppet is carrying the Blue Wave Halberd. The Fire Puppet holds the Blazing Sun Bow. On the shore of Zhenhai Island, the 3 puppets each showed their power and became familiar with the magical weapons in their hands. The Earth Puppet raised the Xuanzong Axe. This magical weapon roared like a beast. It slashed down suddenly, splitting an island rock apart. A large amount of gravel and dust exploded. In the sea. The water-walking puppet wields the Blue Wave Halberd, flying back and forth like a fish. The halberd in its hand thrust out, bursting out layers of ripples, and penetrated a large carnivorous squid. Kill it in one fell swoop. The Fire Puppet is used for long-distance combat and is a long-distance output. 3 puppets. Equip only one of them as the main force in long-distance combat. Chen Qingyun naturally thought carefully. He possesses the Green Light Sword and the Black Dragon's Blade. The maximum strike range can reach about 3,000 meters in radius. This is a Qi refining monk who uses the maximum range of his magic weapon to attack. But this is not Chen Qingyun's limit. The Blazing Sun Bow equipped by the Fire Puppet has a maximum attack range of 10,000 meters. Follow up. As the range increases, the power will gradually decrease until it is completely gone. Thousands of meters away, his eyes looked strong enough for Chen Qingyun to take off, and Yunzu turned around and left. And when it comes to close combat, there should be no shortcomings. When fighting on the Earth puppets obviously have natural advantages. It is equipped with a mysterious heavy axe, which can carry out explosive attacks and exert powerful attack power. The water-walking puppet holds a Blue Wave Halberd and can lurk in the sea, responsible for chasing and cleaning up enemies trying to escape. Chen Qingyun himself can take action at any time. Above the sea. A tiger-headed black eagle flapped its wings and circled around Zhenhai Island, trying to catch giant fish in the sea. This is a first-order monster. The size can reach 6 to 7 meters. It is ferocious in nature and will prey on large fish and mortals. Some monks in the early stage of qi refining are also within their hunting range. When I saw Chen Qingyun, 3 puppets stand on the island. This tiger-headed black eagle spreads a pair of wide wings. Carrying a gust of demonic wind, it quickly approached Zhenhai Island. Whoops! When its pair of wings spread, it burst out with huge power of movement. He dived quickly towards Chen Qingyun. The pair of eagle claws opened, locking Chen Qingyun as the target. He had noticed the tiger-headed black eagle for a long time, and when he saw that the opponent actually launched an attack, Chen Qingyun raised his eyebrows. He took his time and used the fire puppet to deal with it. The fire puppet moved facing the direction of the tiger-headed black eagle's attack. He raised the blazing sun bow in his hand. This is a bow that can shoot arrows like meteors. It can carry out precise attacks on enemies from a long distance. There are no arrows on the bow. When the fire puppet draws its bow, I saw the bright yellow light flowing on the scorching sun bow, and quickly condensed a sharp arrow. The bow is like a full moon, pointing slantingly at the sky. A hissing sound. Arrows burst out. The speed is as fast as a shooting star. The tiger-headed black eagle had no time to dodge, and was pierced by an arrow, exploding with a bang. A tiger-headed black eagle that was a predator just a while ago. At this moment, he was shot by the scorching sun bow, and the pieces of meat fell into the sea and were eaten by fish. It took some time for the puppet to become familiar with the magic weapon. Chen Qingyun turned to sit cross-legged and began his daily practice. Facing the noon sun, I practiced the Great Sun Meditation Sutra. After this period of accumulation. In addition, the soul-nourishing jade is nourishing the soul, and his practice of this technique has reached a new level. Just for a moment. Chen Qingyun can clearly feel it. At this moment, the spirit has grown a bit stronger. Spiritual consciousness and spiritual thoughts have grown considerably compared to before. In terms of magical weapons, I can control 6 of them at the same time. The requirements for refining the 4th 5 elements puppet have also been met. Let's start building the 4th puppet. With this idea in his mind, Chen Qingyun immediately took action. Moonstone is a metallic spiritual mineral that can be used to refine gold puppets. I have experience in refining puppets 3 times. This 4th puppet was quickly completed. In terms of puppet form, Chen Qingyun is still the human puppet of choice. And use the strengthening points to strengthen it all the way to the 1st level of the best level. Jinxing puppet, 9th level of qi refining. The jinxing puppet stood motionless, like a statue. After injecting mana into it, its pair of eyes suddenly lit up. Chen Qingyun took out the earth puppet. Attack it. After the order was given, the Tushing puppet raised the Xuanzong axe and launched an attack on the newly born puppet. Clang. The Xuanzong axe struck the jinxing puppet, causing a sound of intertwining metal. This chop did not break through the jinxing puppet's defense. It just left a faint white mark on it. The jinxing puppet itself has very strong defense and is also known for its super high attack power. It is the one with the most outstanding attack power among the 5 elements puppets. At the same time, you can also cast metal spells to control those metal substances. For example, the most common flying sword and so on. Attack again. The Tushing puppet received the order and continued to swing the Xuanzong axe to attack the Jinxing puppet. The jinxing puppet did not receive Chen Qingyun's order and just stood motionless. Clank clank clang. Attacked several times in succession. It was never possible to break through the jinxing puppet's defense. Chen Qingyun was a little surprised by the defensive power of this puppet. With the addition of jinxing puppet. Now, there is only one wooden puppet left that has not been refined. You have to keep working hard in the future. Time flies, And it's the end of the month in a blink of an eye. Chen Dohai arrived at Zhenhai Island as scheduled. Chen Qingyun has been in seclusion for the past few days to refine weapons. Achievements as a high-grade weapon refiner in the first level of impact. Temporarily handed over the affairs to Chen Qingyun. When the formation is turned on. Chen Qingyun saw it. This time, Chen Qingfeng was traveling with him. Chen Qingzi did not follow. Made some inquiries. Chen Qingyun learned. Due to the shortage of manpower on the psychedelic island side. Chen Qingzi and a monk from the family's generation were sent to the psychedelic island by the family to take care of the spiritual field. Uncle Qi went to the psychedelic islands to take care of the spiritual field. Chen Qingyun murmured to himself and asked, "How is his health lately? How is his complexion recovering?" Chen Dohai sighed slightly, showing a bit of heartache. "When your seventh uncle was young, he took over the task of taking care of the spiritual field for the family and accumulated some experience. Currently, the most suitable candidate for our family's planting in Lingshan is your seventh uncle." This time, Qingzi agreed to go. In addition to knowing that the family was helpless and short of manpower, he also wanted to move to the psychedelic island. Maybe he thought it was quiet and there were traces of King's life there. Having said this, Chen Dohai mentioned Chen Qingzi's recent living conditions. Chapter 87. One for each person, for the good of the family. Half a month ago, when he was still in the family, Qingzi acted as if nothing had happened in front of us, still steady and humble. In fact, behind the scenes, he often felt sad because he missed King. There were 2 times when I saw your seventh uncle, alone in King's courtyard, in a daze, and stayed there for a whole day. Sometimes, he would go to the family tomb and mutter to himself for a long time in front of King's tomb, talking about what happened recently in the family and some daily life. It was heartbreaking to watch. Chen Dohai's voice fell. Chen Qingfeng felt bad and couldn't help but speak. In the next few decades, your seventh uncle is probably going to spend the rest of his life on the psychedelic island. In the future, only your sixth grandfather and I will come together to collect hematite. For 3 or 4 years, we are used to the 3 of us. Now that there is one less person, Chen Qingfeng feels a little emotional. Okay, let's not talk about this. Qingyun, if you have time, you can go to Duomi Island to visit your seventh uncle. In the middle of the month, I heard him mention by chance that he seemed to have something to give you. I don't know what it is. Chen Dohai said seriously. When you go there, you may know. Uncle 7 has something to give me? Chen Qingyun was secretly puzzled. Chen Dohai didn't say much on this topic. After collecting the hematite, he couldn't help laughing. Recently, the magic tools on the market have a lot of premium. After bringing these hematite back to the family, your grandfather Dalen will have to work hard for a while. Hey, our family's red iron sword has recently sold well in major markets. It would be great if the family could have 1 or 2 more refiners to share the task of refining for your grandfather Dalen. The speaker is unintentional, but the listener is thoughtful. After hearing this, Chen Qingyun also realized that the family is indeed short of manpower in the field of refining. Now Chen Qingyun is in seclusion. The family also didn't want him to spend too much time refining the red iron sword and delay his practice. He had to think of a way to have the best of both worlds. It could solve the shortage of family refiners and not delay his and his 5th sister's practice. He had to find a way to refine the family's red iron sword. Okay, it's time for us to go. Daoran is still waiting for this patch of red iron ore. We can't delay any longer. Chen Dohai said goodbye and prepared to return to the family. 6th Grandpa, take this back. Chen Qingyun took out some items. Qingyun, what are you doing? Seeing Chen Qingyun take out 8 magic weapons and a scroll of skills, Chen Dohai said in confusion. Chen Qingfeng, who was standing aside, was also attracted by the magic weapons and skills. These are 8 first-class magic weapons, and this is a volume of exercises, all obtained from Zhao Sha Yuan's storage bag. I think the Star Sea Monster tide is coming in just over a year, and the family cultivators also need to accumulate more resources, equip magic weapons, and improve their strength. I'll have to trouble 6th Grandpa to bring these 8 magic weapons back to the family and pass them on to the clan members. Chen Qingyun explained. He did not mention the strengthening of magic weapons. He directly stated that these 8 magic weapons were all obtained from Zhao Sha Uiyu and this would also save a lot of trouble. First class magic weapons, 8 of them. Chen Dehai was shocked when he heard this, and looked at Chen Qingyun. Chen Qingyun picked up one of them in disbelief, and then the second and third. When he confirmed that these were all first-class magic weapons, he couldn't help but sigh. Qingyun, do you know that according to the family's financial resources, the highest magic weapon of the family cultivators is only the first grade upper grade? This is all thanks to your grandfather Daoran, who made it. If we spend money to purchase the first grade top grade magic weapon, we can't bear it. Each of these magic weapons of yours is worth at least 1,350 spirit stones. Speaking of this, Chen Qingyun secretly swallowed his saliva. 8 first grade top grade magic weapons, that's 10,800 spirit stones. We don't have so many spirit stones in our clan treasury, so we can't give you so many spirit stones at once to purchase these magic weapons. As soon as Chen Qingyun finished speaking, Chen Dehai nodded. Yes, don't underestimate the hematite and hematite swords, which increase the family's income every year. But, in fact, 70% to 80% of these profits will be used for family operations, alchemy and equipment, resource supply, etc. 10,800 spirit stones make up a total of 11,000, and it will take some time for the family to pay you this amount of spirit stones. Hearing the 2 elders talking back and forth, Chen Qingyun smiled. 6th Grandpa, 4th Uncle, the family does not need to use spirit stones to exchange for these magic tools. What do you mean? Chen Dehai asked subconsciously. I want to give these magic tools to the family for free. Knowing that it will be given like this. The family will definitely be embarrassed to accept it and take advantage of it. Chen Qingyun echoed again. Over the years, the resources and energy that my family has devoted to my cultivation and growth far exceed this amount of spiritual stones. I should repay the kindness of teaching and raising me. As a member of the family, I not only hope that the family can get better and better, but also hope that the strength of the clan members can be improved a little bit, so as to deal with the upcoming Star Sea monster tide. Chen Qingyun's words made Chen Dehai and the others fall into silence. Over 10,000 spiritual stones, this is not a small amount. Even if their net worth is added together, it is hard to say whether they can get together 2,000 spiritual stones. And Chen Qingyun was so generous. He wanted to repay his family. He gave away 8 first-class magic tools at once. This shocked the 2 of them. They have been practicing till now. What they have seen and heard. There are many cultivators who fight for their own interests. They don't hesitate to fight for a spiritual herb. A few spiritual stones. They do all kinds of insidious and cunning things, killing people and stealing treasures. I have never heard of it. There are cultivators who are willing to give away magic tools for free. This kind of selfless behavior is indeed extremely rare. Not to mention giving away 8 at a time. Qingyun, have you thought it through? Chen Qingyun is also an adult and has his own ideas. Chen Dehai didn't ask much, but just looked at Chen Qingyun and asked seriously. We are very pleased that you want to repay the family. But these magic tools are of great value. If you sell them, you can get a lot of cultivation resources, which is equivalent to a foundation building pill. You will also participate in the Xingzong campaign in the future. Have you prepared the resource reserves? Chen Qingyun remained silent, thinking the same as Chen Dehai. I think this matter will harm the interests of this nephew for Chen Qingyun, and I want to consider his nephew. I have thought it through. Chen Qingyun smiled faintly. I know how to store resources, so you don't have to worry. The most important thing now is to equip you with these magic tools. This is what I care about most, and it will allow me to continue to practice with peace of mind. Seeing that Chen Qingyun insisted on doing so, Chen Dohai didn't say much. Okay, then it's up to you. After Qingfeng and I return to the family, we will first give these magic tools to the clan leader, and then discuss the distribution of magic tools together. He put away the magic tools with satisfaction, and then his eyes fell on the practice book. Qingyun, what kind of skill is this? Chapter 88 Escort. The two of them checked the skills one after another, and soon they both looked shocked and felt incredible. I was still wondering before, how did Zhuxiantu break through to the foundation building stage without using the foundation building pill? Not really to gain a glimmer of hope. Don't want to wait another 10 years. So risk your life to build the foundation. Now. Seeing this blood coagulation Qingguang, the two of them were suddenly enlightened and marveled at the wonder of this technique. Using essence and blood to condense the true energy and ruin the future path. Although this method is a bit extreme, it does vary from person to person. Chen Dohai said. Unexpectedly, Zhuxiantu still has such a skill in his hands. He is now at the 8th level of Qi refining. He is also over 60 years old. Missed the best foundation building age. It is already extremely difficult to build a foundation. This blood coagulation Qingguang puts aside the side effects. It really gave him hope of building a foundation. If this technique is given to the family, it needs to be handed over to the clan leader for safekeeping. It cannot be spread among the clan at will. Chen Dohai thinks this way because he is also worried that some young tribesmen will be obsessed with profit. I am afraid that some people will only see the temptation of building a foundation and blindly ruin their own path. In his opinion, Zaifu stage, Jinan stage and other more advanced realms. These are even more attractive than the foundation building period. It is difficult to define the quality of this technique. It is a double-edged sword. Qingyun, you didn't learn this technique, did you? Chen Qingyun showed a solemn look, looked into Chen Qingyun's eyes, and asked. Recently on Linjian Island they heard Chen Xianming mention it. Chen Qingyun has now reached the 9th level of Qi refining and is ready to prepare for foundation building. So much so that the old patriarch often muttered. Where should I get a foundation building pill for Chen Qingyun? At the moment. The path to this blood coagulated foundation is right in front of you. Chen Qingyun was very worried that Chen Qingyun would practice the blood coagulation Qingguang out of impulse. It's not just the foundation building period. He hopes to see Chen Qingyun enter the Zaifu stage again in the future. Even condensed golden elixir. Get better results. Never lose a big deal for a small sum. No. Chen Qingyun shook his head repeatedly and said seriously, "The foundation building method of destroying the road does not apply to me. I hope this skill can be left to those in need before giving it to the family." Well, as long as you understand the pros and cons. Chen Dohai nodded slowly and confessed, "Perhaps I can try to practice the blood condensation Qingguang, but not now. Let's wait until I break through to the 9th level of Qi refining." The three of them chatted for a while about the exercises. Chatting and chatting. Chen Qingyun thought of the ancient book Fulu. Asked the family if there are any monks who are interested in the talisman. Has the family begun cultivating talents in this field? Thanks to your generous gift this time, there are currently 2 people in the family who are learning talismans, namely Nian Wei and Nian Long. Chen Dohai said. Chen Nian Wei and Chen Nian Long. Chen Qingyun has some impression of these 2 people. These are his 2 nieces. This talisman needs to be grasped since childhood. Although Nian Wei and Nian Long are young, they have some talents and learn quickly. I believe they will achieve success in their studies within a year or 2. Chen Dohai touched the beard on his chin and said with a smile. I feel more and more that the family is getting better and better. It started to feel like 100 flowers blooming. In the future, it will be even better if a few more talents in beast control and formations emerge. These various skills of cultivating immortals can be passed down. Chatted casually for a while. Not long after, Chen Dohai left Zhenhai Island. When setting off. Chen Dohai hesitated a little, Looking at Chen Qingyun, who was hesitant to speak. Chen Qingyun also walked a few steps before turning back and taking a look at Chen Qingyun. Grandpa 6, Uncle 4, what's wrong? Chen Qingyun was confused and couldn't help but ask. Chen Dohai and Chen Qingyun looked at each other. Chen Dohai smiled sheepishly. Qingyun, are you free now? What do you want from me, Grandpa 6? Haha, if you are free, I'd like to trouble you to walk with us for a short distance. Chen Dohai invited. We will feel a lot more at ease if you are with us all the way. Hearing this, Chen Qingyun still didn't understand what it meant. Without Chen Qingzi to accompany him. He also carries a magical weapon worth more than 10,000 yuan. The two elders in front of me. Apparently he was worried about encountering bandit cultivators blocking his way. When the time comes to lose the magic weapon, you will feel guilty. I will go with you to Lingjian Island. Chen Qingyun gave a wry smile and immediately used Fianzu. When I saw that Fianzu was also a first-class magic weapon. Both Chen Dohai and Chen Dohai looked stunned, and then they both looked deeply at Chen Qingyun without saying anything. Ha ha ha. If you are with me, I will feel more at ease. Very good, very good. Chen Dohai laughed and boarded the flying boat, followed closely by Chen Qingyun. Under the escort of Chen Qingyun. In less than half a day, the three of them returned to the family smoothly. Chen Qingyun lowered the flying boat. When Chen Dohai and Chen Dohai landed, they greeted each other and walked straight to Chen Daoran's mansion. Now that I'm back to Lingjian Island this time. He simply decided to find Chen Daoran. Learn about the family's recent weapon refining status. When I arrived at the second grandfather's mansion. The maid here informed. Chen Daoran has been staying in the weapon refining room these days and is very busy all day long. Chen Qingyun had no choice but to change his route and go to the weapon refining room, where he met Chen Daoran. The old man was concentrating on refining the water and fire robes and did not notice Chen Qingyun's arrival. I waited quietly for a while without disturbing him. Chen Qingyun was attracted by the refining of this water and fire robe. As the family's magic weapon industry, the water and fire talist robe has been profitable for the family for more than 20 years. It can continuously bring 600 to 700 spiritual stone profits every year. There are three types of raw materials for this type of magic weapon. Fire stone, mercury sand, flowing cloud yarn. Among them, fire pattern stone and Liaoyansha are common weapon refining materials on the market. Only Liaoyan yarn is produced on Yishi Island. It belongs to the resources controlled by Patriarch Han alone. It can be used to refine the sails of large flying boats, streamers, various types of Taoist robes, etc. The Chen family needs to go to Yishidao every year to purchase Liaoyan yarn. One trip. It takes more than a month. But even so, the Chen family is still enjoying it. According to the family's ideas. This sells water and fire Taoist robes. It's not just about making money. A more important point. He wanted to build up the reputation of the Chen family for making weapons. Let the monks in the inner star sea feel free to purchase the magic weapons produced by the Chen family. The best-selling red iron sword is actually the foundation laid by the water and fire robe. Many buyers of red iron swords feel that they are of high quality, cheap and stable to use after purchasing the water and fire robes. Only then did he introduce the monks around him to buy red iron swords. It can be said without exaggeration. Without the water and fire robes that the family worked so hard on in the early stage, the red iron sword would not be able to sell so well. Chen Xianming is still very far-sighted in the planning of the water and fire Taoist robe industry. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 89 Chen Daoran and number 039 difficulties. Just started. The water and fire Taoist robe industry is still at a loss-making stage. Chen Xianming ignored the opposition of some members of the family. Persevere with determination. Doing so has caused some criticism among the clan. At that time, Chen Daoren was hesitant to stop the production of water and fire robes. Fortunately, with Chen Xianming's subsequent efforts, the water and fire robes began to show improvement and were gradually sold in Zhuxianfang City. The Chen family also used the water and fire Taoist robes to come into contact with the outside world's magic weapon market. It opened a hole in the fiercely competitive magical weapon market. The Chen family can be among them and get a share of the pie. Behind the seemingly simple sale of magical instruments. I don't know how much thought Chen Xianming put into it, but also how much effort Chen Daoren put in. It can be said several family properties of the Chen family. Nothing is easy to do. It is only through the efforts of generations of tribesmen that we have become bigger and better step by step. Development of family resources. This is all about looking at things from a long-term perspective. Naturally, he will not be short-sighted and only covet temporary benefits. Watching the Chen Daoren inscription formation. It ends with the last formation inscription. The refining of this water and fire robe is finally completed. It takes more than 2 hours to refine one piece. It is undoubtedly time-consuming and labor-intensive. The beads of sweat on Chen Daoren's forehead were clearly visible. Refining water and fire robes is more laborious than red iron swords and tortoise shell shields. Qingyun, you are back. After temporarily ending the refining, Chen Daoren noticed Chen Qingyun standing quietly on the side with a smile on his face. Chen Qingyun greeted with a smile. He was somewhat interested in the refining of the water and fire Taoist robe and asked about some of the inscription formation techniques. In Chen Daoren's view, Chen Qingyun has been promoted to the first-level middle-grade weapon refiner. This water and fire Taoist robe is generally at the first-level mid-level. According to Chen Qingyun's ability, he can start refining it with a little study. He simply took advantage of this opportunity to guide Chen Qingyun in refining. Chen Qingyun was a little surprised when he saw this. Second grandpa asked him to refine the water and fire Taoist robe. Obviously there is the intention to pass this item on to him. Not yet rejected. Chen Daoren took the drawings of the inscription formation and asked Chen Qingyun to observe them carefully and remember them. Then, let me try. Chen Qingyun smiled slightly and did not refuse. I guess that Chen Daoren's idea was to cultivate a second clan member for the family who could refine water and fire robes. Seeing the hard work this old man had just done, he also wants to share some burdens for the other party in the future. There are 5 formation patterns in the water and fire Taoist robe. Among them, the most important ones to pay attention to are the water formation pattern and the fire formation pattern. Since ancient times, water and fire have been incompatible and have restrained each other. It is not an easy task to put the 2 powers of water and fire into a magical weapon at the same time. This is also the unique feature of the water and fire Taoist robe. Chen Qingyun carefully observed the incense stick for about a while. After I felt confident, I started refining it. Firestone, mercury sand, and flowing cloud yarn were put in successively for smelting. Then to fusion and shaping. These 3 steps are easily handled. Until the inscription formation session. The storage formation pattern, the activation formation pattern, and the water formation pattern are engraved on it. When the fire pattern was engraved, problems immediately arose. Refining the water and fire Taoist robe for the first time. It took more than an hour and ended in failure. Chen Qingyun couldn't help but sigh. 3 materials are just gone. Who wouldn't feel bad if I left it alone? It's just a failure. Adjust your mentality and practice again. You don't have to feel bad about wasting materials. This is a good learning opportunity. You should seize it. Chen Daoren, still smiling, took out another piece of weapon refining materials and motioned for Chen Qingyun to continue. Then, I'm welcome to practice again. Chen Qingyun took a deep breath. Summarizing the lessons from the previous failure, he quickly entered the refining state again. This time, nearly 2 hours passed again. After the water formation pattern was engraved, the fire formation pattern was also engraved successfully. The last fusion formation gradually came to an end under Chen Daoren's nervous gaze. Wow! The inscription array was completed, and a burst of aqua blue and bright yellow light appeared on the Taoist robe. Well, I was familiar with the refining process the first time, and successfully refined it the second time. Your understanding ability is good. Have you noticed that the refining of this water and fire robe is actually not as difficult as you thought? It's just a matter of having some snacks and spending a little more time. Chen Daoren couldn't help but admire. I feel more and more that it is a very correct decision to train Chen Qingyun to enter the art of weapon refining. At first. If it weren't for Chen Xianming's suggestion. Chen Qingyun was assigned to guard Zhenhai Island and learn weapon refining from Chen Qingyun. Then Chen Qingyun will not enter the weapon refining field so quickly. This water and fire robe can be refined. Second, Grandpa is overly praised, but it's your teachings that are good. Ha. Refining it twice in a row lasted for more than 3 hours. It feels a bit hard. Come on, sit down and rest for a while, just in time to tell me how you and King Yan are doing on Zhenhai Island recently. In a rare moment of relaxation, Chen Daoren took Chen Qingyun to chat. There is so much to say. I also want to know if Chen Qingyun and his wife are doing well outside. Do they miss home? The grandfather and grandson chatted for an entire afternoon. It was not until it was dark outside that Chen Daoren slowly changed the subject. Qingyun has made great progress over the years and is about to catch up with me. You and Qingyun are both great. I hope she can come out of seclusion smoothly this time, so that our Chen family will have another first-class top-grade weapon refiner. I am old, and I can no longer bear the long-term refining as I did when I was young. The refining of this water and fire Taoist robe will eventually be passed down to you. The family has invested a lot in this, and it has been stumbling all the way, and it is not easy to get here. Now that we have finally achieved some results, we can't give up so easily and let it end in my hands. Chen Daoren said a lot of things, with expectation flashing in his eyes. Chen Qingyun listened quietly and responded from time to time. Before leaving, Chen Qingyun specifically asked how many water and fire robes were needed to be refined. There are still 16 pieces of materials, and at least 6 pieces need to be refined. After completing the refining of this batch of water and fire robes, we will start to refine the red iron swords. How many red iron swords do we need to refine this time? Chen Qingyun nodded slowly and continued to ask. Well, maybe more than last time, about 100 or so. This month, I basically spent it in this small refining room again. Looking at the fatigue on the face of the old man in front of him, Chen Qingyun felt touched. Long time of refining magic tools. Not to mention the old man in front of him, even he himself is a little overwhelmed. Must contribute to the family's magic tool refining. Think of a way to reduce Chen Daoren's pressure on refining. Can't let Chen Daoren carry it all alone. Don't worry about the family's refining matters. As if seeing Chen Qingyun's thoughts, Chen Daoren smiled faintly. Your current goal is to enter the foundation building stage as soon as possible. You can put the refining of weapons aside for now. When your cultivation breaks through the foundation building stage and your lifespan is extended, you will have more time to learn the way of refining weapons. Hearing this, Chen Qingyun nodded slowly. He had just broken through to the 9th level of Qi refining. It is not so easy to break through the foundation building stage. You should also pay attention to the foundation building matter in the near future, where there are foundation building pills for sale. It is a good thing for both yourself and the family to get one. After chatting for a few words, Chen Qingyun stood up and said goodbye. It's getting late. I have to return to Zhenhai Island. Second Grandpa, you should also pay more attention to your health and rest more. Well, you and Qingyun should take good care of yourselves outside. Tell the family if there is anything. Don't report good news but not bad news. Go. You don't need to help bring spiritual rice this time. I haven't accumulated much. Help me bring some next time. Okay. Chen Qingyun nodded, thinking of the magic weapon, and said meaningfully. I don't think second Grandpa has a top-grade magic weapon, but he will have one soon. After leaving such a meaningless sentence to Chen Daoren, Chen Qingyun stood up, waved his hand, and left the weapon refining room. Chapter 90, Ideas for Industrial Refining. A first-class magic weapon, at least 1,300 spirit stones. I can't bear to part with such an expensive thing. Chen Daoran shook his head and smiled bitterly. He didn't think much about it. He just thought that Chen Qingyun said it casually. After setting up the Fian boat, Chen Qingyun left Lingjian Island. That night, when the family learned Chen Qingyun contributed 8 first-class magic weapons to the family in return, the whole family was excited and felt it was really unbelievable. On weekdays, they are reluctant to spend money to buy the first-class magic weapon. Chen Qingyun, a younger generation, was so generous and gave 8 pieces to the family in return. This is a spiritual stone worth more than 10,000 yuan, which is equivalent to a foundation building pill. Chen Qingyun, Chen Dalan and others are also wondering, where did Chen Qingyun get so many first-class magic weapons? Chen Xianming, the old patriarch, clapped his hands excitedly. Ha 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 ha, 8 first-class magic weapons, good, good. Having Qingyun, it's my Chen family's blessing. We should all remember the good things he has done to our family this time, and we will repay him in the future. At the same time, Chen Daoran, who came out of the refining room and had dinner, heard the news and had a happy smile on his face. This kid is really thoughtful. I'm so willing to give it up. No wonder when I was leaving during the day, I kept talking about the magic weapon. Immediately, he suddenly realized that he was summoned by Chen Xianming on the way to the weapon refining room. While waiting to go to the meeting hall, he saw Chen Daohai, Chen Qingyun and others already there. Chen Xianming summoned everyone here this time to distribute these 8 magical artifacts to the family monks as soon as possible. Chen Qingyun didn't know the excitement in his family and flew back to Zhenhai Island. It was already 5 days before Chen Qingyun came out of confinement. As a result, the Chen family gave birth to the second first-level high-grade weapon refiner. In the past few days, Chen Qingyun has been thinking about refining the red iron sword. With the arrival of the Star Sea Demon Tide, the best-selling items in the market are first-order high-grade magic weapons. Next is the first-order mid-grade magic weapon. There is no shortage of newcomers who have just entered the world of immortality. The first-order low-grade magic weapon has not been impacted by much market premium. The price of the red iron sword has now been raised to 55 spirit stones, and it is still selling well. Seeing the best-selling red iron sword, and thinking of the high price in the current magic weapon market, Chen Daoran worked tirelessly to refine it. An idea came into Chen Qingyun's mind. Perhaps you can use what you have seen in your previous life to build an artifact refining workshop on Zhenhai Island for mass production of magical artifacts. Since becoming a weapon refiner, Chen Qingyun has always realized how difficult it is to make weapons. Just refining a first-order low-grade hematite sword, from smelting to fusion to shaping and inscription formation. The total time required for these 4 links is at least an hour. The inscription formation is easy to say. With a red iron sword, the inscription formation can be completed in a few minutes. The main time is still spent on the 3 steps of smelting, fusion and shaping. Taking into account the breakage rate of the refining tool, the probability of refining it 10 times and getting 5 or 6 out of the furnace is indeed very laborious. If you don't think there is anything undesirable in the first 2 or 3 years, then you will have enough time and you can spend more time refining it. But as the Star Sea Monster Tide approaches, the price of magic weapons becomes higher. Now, it is necessary to maintain daily practice and improve strength. He also wants to refine magic weapons in large quantities and sell them to earn spiritual stones. We have to try to create a magic weapon production line. After several years of accumulation of weapon refining, Chen Qingyun has already figured out the process of weapon refining. The first 3 steps of smelting, fusion, and shaping are not too difficult. The most difficult thing is the inscription formation. Here the monks need to use their spiritual thoughts to carry out the inscription formation. If you want to use formations, talismans, or puppets to realize this step, This is the biggest problem. It is obviously impossible to develop technology and manufacture chips and high-precision machines here. The good thing is that the first 3 steps of refining can indeed be replaced by machines. The most difficult part is the 4th step. Each type of magic weapon has a fixed formation pattern. This requires monks to take action and understand the techniques of the inscription formation, which cannot be replaced by mortals. The red iron sword has only 2 formation patterns. As long as the inscriptions of these 2 formation patterns are conquered, there is hope for mass production of the red iron sword. Once hematite swords can be mass-produced, 5th sister in the family's weapon refiners will not need to spend time refining such magic weapons. In the future, once the weapon refining workshop develops, more hematite swords can be refined. If the industry wants to expand, improving production efficiency is an inevitable trend, and the weapon refining workshop must be built. Chen Qingyun thought carefully and decided to give this idea a try. There are still more than 2,000 Chen mortals on Zhenhai Island. These are mobilizable labor forces. Of course, it is obviously unrealistic to ask them to engrave formation patterns. But it can still be used to participate in the operation of the refinery workshop, transport raw materials, process waste, etc. Once the efficiency of the weapon refining is improved, the problem of the inscription formation cannot be solved. Chen Qingyun can also spend time on the inscription formation by himself. Even after the inscription formation is completed, the level of the magic weapon will be strengthened. With an idea in mind, Chen Qingyun began to experiment in the next few days. The first step in refining a hematite sword is to melt the hematite through earth fire and remove the impurities inside. This step can be accomplished through high-temperature smelting as long as the flame temperature reaches the standard. Chen Qingyun decided to build a furnace to smelt hematite, which was a relatively simple step. One day a huge red furnace appeared in front of him, which was as big as a dozen people could hug. This furnace had no cover, and the situation inside the furnace could be clearly seen during smelting. 2 pieces of hematite were placed in the furnace, and under the constant temperature burning of the earth fire, they gradually turned into liquid metal, and the impurities inside were slowly removed under high-temperature smelting. Practice has proved that it is completely feasible to smelt materials in a furnace. The first problem facing us now is fire control. It is easy for cultivators to control the temperature of the earth fire through the fire control array, and it is not a problem at all. Let mortals do it. They can control the magic power and control the array to adjust the temperature of the flame. This problem needs to be overcome. In the link of fire control, Chen Qingyun spent another half a day, constantly experimenting and trying, and soon thought of a solution. He needs to add a control method for the array. It is similar to inserting a specific program into the formation. Mortals can use this program to increase or decrease the flame temperature, similar to controlling the joystick of a machine. This is like controlling the knob of a gas stove to increase or decrease the flame temperature. Chen Qingyun does not understand the formation very well. On that day, Chen Qingyun asked Chen Qingyun if there were any cultivators in the family who knew the formation. Zhenhai Island is a secret resource of the Chen family, so it is naturally impossible to bring outside cultivators here. Chapter 91. How about I give you a few glasses of wine as punishment? What I know is that there are only weapon refiners, alchemists and spirit plant masters in the family, but no cultivators who understand formations. Chen Qingyun shook her head gently. When did you become interested in formations? In order to train alchemists and weapon refiners, the family invested a lot of resources, spent a lot of spirit stones, and even owed foreign debts. These subsequent investments gradually yielded results, and the foreign debts were paid off little by little, and the family started to improve. In a short period of time, where can there be spirit stone resources to train formation masters? There are just some problems about refining that need to be solved, which are somewhat related to the fire control formation. Since there is no formation master in the family, I can only ask for help from others and think of a solution. Chen Qingyun smiled and didn't say much about this. Seeing that Chen Qingyun didn't say much about this, Chen Qingyun couldn't help but wonder in her heart, isn't the fire control formation in the ground fire room good? Is there still something wrong with the formation? Even though she was confused, she didn't ask any more questions. As for the formation, even if I ask her, she won't understand. I'll stay in the earth-fire room for a few days. Fifth sister, tell me when you need to refine the weapon. After informing her, Chen Qingyun turned and left. There is no formation master in the family, and I can't ask Baidu here, so I have to find a way to solve it myself. Chen Qingyun returned to the earth-fire room again. I have to understand the principle of the fire control formation first, and make a little improvement from it to make a device similar to a joystick to control the formation. Similar to using burning wood to smelt materials, this can only be used to melt ordinary iron and achieve the effect of making ironware in the blacksmith shop. Hematite is a spiritual ore, and ordinary fire cannot smelt it. It needs to use earth fire, or the true fire condensed by cultivators, the spiritual fire of heaven and earth, etc. The remaining fusion and shaping are easy to solve. For the hematite sword, add the 100 refined steel to smelt it, and then fuse it with the hematite. With the existence of a furnace, it is easier to smelt ordinary iron such as 100 refined steel. As for the shaping part, a mold needs to be created to assist in the completion. This type of mold needs to be made of high-temperature resistant materials. And the fused red iron sword needs to be forged and tempered. It is not a problem to guide mortals to complete this step. It took some time. Chen Qingyun also created the mold for the fused red iron sword. After conducting experiments on the spot and discovering some deficiencies, he continuously modified it several times. Finally, the most suitable set of molds was changed. With this set of molds, the metal liquid of red iron and 100 refined steel can be directly poured into it for shaping. As for the last inscription formation link, this requires careful thinking to find a way to deal with it. Solving the problem of fire control formation will not be too troublesome. Asking a formation master should be able to find a way to deal with it, or just hire a few monks to do it and specialize in fire control tasks. Chen Qingyun thought about it. If the fire control formation cannot be changed to allow mortals to achieve fire control operations, monks can only be hired to do this link. However, it should be noted here that Zhenhai Island is a secret resource point of the Chen family. It is naturally impossible to hire outsiders to set foot here and expose the existence of this island. If you want to find it, you have to find it from the family. If you want to find it from the family, you will encounter another problem. The family monks are not enough. It is obviously impossible to send a family monk to control fire all day and delay his own practice. The purpose of building a refining workshop is to make the mortal labor here play a greater value. Let them participate in the refining process of magic tools and save time for the refiners. It is also impossible to let the monks control the fire control array. The construction of the refining workshop cannot be completed in a short time. You can only do it step by step. When you encounter a problem, find a way to solve it. In the past 2 or 3 days, Chen Qingyun has been conceiving the construction of this refining workshop. In the end, he decided to go out and find a senior array master in Zhuxiantu City to ask this question. There is never a shortage of array experts in Zhuxiantu City. In addition, the soul-nourishing jade has been refined and can be handed over to Liu Zilin for payment. Chen Qingyun had some expectations about what kind of formation Liu Zilin would find. And the two formations running at the same time on Zhenhai Island obviously require more spiritual energy or spiritual stones, and the spiritual energy content here on Zhenhai Island needs to be increased. The most feasible and stable solution is to lay down a large spiritual gathering formation. Whether it is to solve the problem of the refining workshop or to purchase a large spiritual gathering formation, we can't delay any longer. We must go to Hunyuan Market. Chen Qingyun made up his mind. The construction of Zhenhai Island cannot be left behind. That morning, Chen Qingyun left Zhenhai Island and went to Hunyuan Market alone. The flow of people in the market is still very large, with hundreds of people coming and going, which seems quite lively. From time to time, there are cultivators who make large-scale purchases and buy resources here crazily. Chen Qingyun is eager to learn, and after thinking about it, he went to the street market first. Last time, He met Zhang Wenhui at the street market. Now Chen Qingyun wanted to go there first to see if the little girl was still setting up a stall there. It would be right to ask the Zhang family about matters related to the formation. There were not many people in the street market, about 30 or so. After wandering around for a while, Chen Qingyun soon saw a familiar figure in goose yellow. It was Zhang Wenhui. She was still setting up a stall here today. On the stall, a magic weapon, a set of first-level formations, and more than 10 talismans were neatly placed. There were not many things, but they were clean and tidy. At this time, she was talking to a monk. Chen Qingyun took a few steps forward. "Little girl, don't be so stubborn." In front of the stall, a bearded monk opened his eyes wide and stared at Zhang Wenhui. A first-level medium-quality mirror-type magic weapon used by female monks. "I bid 140 spirit stones and I think you are very respectful. You still think the money is too little? You think I'm easy to bully, right?" As he said, the bearded monk was about to roll up his sleeves to intimidate Zhang Wenhui. "I said, 200 spirit stones, not one less." Zhang Wenhui was not afraid either, tilted her head, looking at the bearded monk who was a head taller than her. 200 spirit stones, I see you are so delicate and weak, why are you asking such a high price? The bearded monk looked furious. His scolding attracted the attention of several casual cultivators around him, but no one came up to smooth things over. This kind of situation is too common in this street market, and a group of casual cultivators will not stand up for people who have nothing to do with them. Adhering to the principle of buying if you can, and getting out if you don't, I don't bother to say anything more. This bearded monk has been wandering here in recent days, picking on some young stall owners who look unfamiliar. This man relied on his aggressive appearance and the cultivation of the third level of qi refining to intimidate the other party to sell resources at a low price. Two young casual cultivators who had just entered the world of immortal cultivation were afraid of offending this person, so they pinched their noses and sold their magic tools at a low price, losing more than 10 spirit stones. For such a lackey, Zhang Wenhui's response was actually good. More stall owners, once the price cannot be negotiated, simply shut up and ignore. There is no point in wasting words. Zhang Wenhui did not feel guilty, put her hands on her waist, snorted twice and said, "If you think it is expensive, you don't have to buy it. HMPH, you are so young, and you are so impulsive. What did your elders teach you? No one taught you at home. Be careful, someone will teach you." The bearded monk grinned, deliberately releasing his cultivation, trying to bluff Zhang Wenhui. "You talk too much." Seeing this, Zhang Wenhui glanced at the other party for the last time, and was too lazy to pay attention to it, and closed her eyes to rest. A first-level medium-grade magic weapon, no matter what type, is worth at least 200 spirit stones according to the current price of magic weapons. 140 spirit stones, obviously it is impossible to sell it. She spent 170 spirit stones to buy this cold crystal mirror. "Little girl, are you really not going to sell it?" The bearded monk stared at Zhang Wenhui with a stern face. "I like your magic weapon because I think highly of you. Don't refuse my toast and drink a forfeit." But Zhang Wenhui closed her eyes and ignored him, which made him feel very unhappy. Just when he was about to threaten him a few more times. At this time, a cold voice came. "However, I will give you a few glasses of forfeit wine." Chapter 92, Every profession has its own specialty. A cold voice sounded, and the bearded monk raised his eyebrows. He looked in the direction of the voice and saw Chen Qingyun walking towards him. Chen Qingyun did not hide his cultivation aura, and his eyebrows were slightly frowned. Feeling the aura of Chen Qingyun, and looking at his clothes, the bearded monk's expression suddenly changed, revealing fear. 9th level of Qi refining. Family cultivator. Suddenly, he shrank his head like a mouse seeing a cat, turned around and walked away in shame, not daring to say another word. This embarrassed look caused several casual cultivators around to laugh a few times. Immediately, they couldn't help but look at Chen Qingyun a few times, revealing a bit of fear. 9th level of Qi refining, and from a family of immortal cultivators. Judging from his age, he must be the foundation seed of a family. How could they, casual cultivators, afford to provoke him? Zhang Wenhuai's eyes also fell on Chen Qingyun at this time. Fellow Taoist Chen. Her eyes lit up, revealing a happy expression. I didn't expect to see Chen Qingyun here today after the last separation. It's been a while since I last saw you. I didn't expect Miss Zhang to be here. Chen Qingyun smiled faintly, and when he looked at Zhang Wenhui, he was no longer as cold as before. Well, thank you for standing up for me just now. That man just now was really annoying. He deliberately scared me when I said I wouldn't sell him the cold crystal mirror. I'm not afraid of him. If he continues to pester me, I'll ask my grandfather to teach him a lesson. My grandfather is also in the Black Cliff Market. Zhang Wenhui frowned and said, not liking the behavior of the bearded monk just now. Her cold crystal mirror is well preserved, and she usually takes good care of it. There is no flaw. According to the current premium price of magic tools, how could it be sold for 140 spirit stones? A few days ago, when she asked for the price at Duobao Pavilion, she didn't sell it even though the shopkeeper there offered 190 spirit stones. Naturally, she wouldn't do anything at a loss. Even if I want to sell it, I want to find a female Taoist friend who knows how to cherish it. Listening to Zhang Wenhuai's dissatisfaction, Chen Qingyun nodded slightly. Cultivators like the bearded man often appear in the market, and they use their power to bully others, picking some casual cultivators who look easy to bully and unfamiliar. Some casual cultivators who have just entered the path of cultivation, when they are intimidated by the other party, often hold the idea of not wanting to provoke, and are worried that they will be hated by the other party, so they grit their teeth and sell resources at a loss of some spirit stones. When Chen Qingyun was taught in the clan, he also heard some of the elders in the clan say something about this kind of thing. Now that he has seen it with his own eyes, even if the other party is not threatening Zhang Wenhui, Chen Qingyun is willing to take action to deal with it. Can I see this magic weapon? Chen Qingyun pointed to the cold crystal mirror. Of course. Picked up the cold crystal mirror and looked at it for a few times. From the quality of this magic weapon, it is much better than those magic weapons that have been used by countless cultivators and eliminated. Looking at some of the magic weapons on the surrounding stalls, they are either broken and their power has greatly reduced. I don't know how many times they have been sold back and forth. Or they are old and almost scrapped. The use of magic weapons also has a lifespan. Generally speaking, the service life of a first-level magic weapon is about 20 years. During this period, it will be constantly damaged in battles, gradually become old, and finally scrapped. According to Chen Qingyun's estimation, Zhang Wenhuai's piece is worth at least 220 spirit stones. Most of the cultivators who appear in the street market are casual cultivators. Because these casual cultivators are short of money, how can they afford to spend 220 spirit stones to purchase a first-level medium-quality magic weapon? Zhang Wenhuai's magic weapon has probably been on display for some time. If it is really sold at a price of 140, it will be a big loss. Chen Qingyun just put down the cold crystal mirror, and a casual cultivator passing by saw it and couldn't help asking for the price. Fellow Taoist, how much is this? 200 spirit stones. When the casual cultivator learned that the price of the cold crystal mirror was 200 spirit stones, he shook his head and sighed, turned around and left without bargaining. Chen Qingyun looked at this scene and had no interest in purchasing this magic weapon. Zhang Wenhui said with a grin. I have been here to set up a stall almost every day this month, but I haven't sold anything. The demand for purchases from the cultivators here is not very high, and many of them just ask but don't buy. Why are you here? Are you going to buy something? Zhang Wenhui asked happily. The previous incident of the bearded cultivator looking for trouble had been completely forgotten. I'm not here to buy anything. Chen Qingyun directly explained his purpose and said, I came to you on purpose. Looking for me? Zhang Wenhui was a little confused when she heard this. Is it Was there a problem with the last set of formation flags? She was silent for a moment. She asked tentatively. She thought that this might be the reason why Chen Qingyun came to find her. However, there was nothing wrong with the set of formation flags and magic tools. I wonder what fellow Taoist Chen wants to ask. While thinking, Chen Qingyun's voice sounded. Miss Zhang, are you proficient in the art of formation? Yes. Zhang Wenhui nodded seriously when she heard this. My Zhang family has been practicing formation for generations, so of course I know it. Okay, can I have a word with you? Chen Qingyun invited. Zhang Wenhui nodded. Wait for me to pack up this doll. The two walked to a restaurant in the market and sat down. After drinking a few sips of tea and eating some delicious food, Chen Qingyun mentioned the purpose of his visit. It's about the formation. Chen Qingyun told Zhang Wenhui about the idea of the fire control formation, but did not mention the establishment of a weapon refining workshop. He just asked the girl in front of him how to achieve the effect of controlling the formation with the power of mortals. The fire control formation that mortals can control. After listening, Zhang Wenhui muttered to herself. Seeing her look like this, Chen Qingyun seemed to have hope. So he waited quietly without disturbing her. Just waited for a while. Zhang Wenhui thought of a way and began to describe it in detail with Chen Qingyun. Considering that Chen Qingyun might not understand the way of formation. While she was talking, she also popularized the principle of the remote rotation of the fire control formation, how it was arranged, and how to modify the formation effect. This time, the consultation took up most of the afternoon. The guests in the restaurant came and went, and they changed back and forth several times. After listening, asking questions from time to time, and drawing drawings to record, Chen Qingyun finally understood. It was a bit beyond his expectations. The operating principle of this fire control array looks simple, but there are many tricks in it. It is true that every profession has its own specialties. After asking Zhang Wenhui, he finally knew how to realize the idea in his mind. As for the problem of the inscription array, how to let mortals realize it, after Chen Qingyun asked, Zhang Wenhui shook her head repeatedly. She was surprised at Chen Qingyun's bold and novel idea. She said that according to her knowledge and understanding of the array, it is impossible to achieve this. Arrays don't work, or, why don't you try puppets? Without giving a solution, Zhang Wenhui proposed an idea. Try the kind of puppets that can cast divine thoughts. Chapter 93, Spirit Gathering Formation. The last step of refining the magic weapon is to engrave the formation pattern and activate the magic weapon. This is the biggest difference from refining mortal weapons. To do this step well, you also need the help of spiritual thoughts. If it is a puppet with spiritual thoughts, it may be possible to carry out simple formation inscriptions. Use the puppet inscription formation. Chen Qingyun murmured to himself. This seems to be a clue. She asked Zhang Wenhui if she had any specific ideas about using the puppet inscription formation. I just thought of this possibility. For the specific situation, I'd better ask the seniors who know the way of puppets. Zhang Wenhui shook her head repeatedly. She thought of this idea and had no idea how to operate it. Seeing this situation, Chen Qingyun didn't ask any more questions. He decided to buy a fire control formation from the Zhang family. Build according to the idea in your mind. After the original fire control array was transformed, he and Chen Qingyun would naturally not use the transformed fire control array when refining it in the future. A fire control formation needs to be rearranged. Moreover, the underground fire room must be isolated and a separate weapon refining room must be created. If they do this, they will also have a place to refine magic weapons. As for the original fire control formation, it was used by the weapon refining workshop. The two fire control formations need to meet the weapon refining needs of both sides without interfering with each other. A low-grade first-level fire control formation. This is the simplest. Zhang Wenhui smiled and said, "If you are in a hurry, I can take you to buy some formation materials now. The materials should not exceed 10 spiritual stones at most. I can arrange a set for you today." Good. Chen Qingyun nodded, and then asked about the spirit gathering formation. As a family of formations, the Zhang family has good relations with the Chen family, so it is obviously appropriate to purchase the spirit gathering formation from the Zhang family. Also, the second level mid-level spirit gathering formation, do your Zhang family still have it in stock recently? Chen Qingyun asked about his needs and wanted to purchase a spiritual gathering array from the Zhang family and place it on Zhenhai Island to gather the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. Having more spiritual energy will be of great benefit, whether it is for practicing, maintaining the formation to protect the island, or the new formation to be deployed next. Zhenhai Island is Chen Qingyun's second home, so it naturally needs to be constructed in all aspects. The size of the spirit gathering formation cannot be unified and needs to be determined according to the layout area, so generally there is no inventory. The size of the layout area is measured first, and then the size of the formation is customized. Zhang Wenhui asked seriously, how big is the layout range? If the area of the island is too large, you will have to purchase a larger spirit gathering formation. It would be a bit inappropriate to purchase a set of layouts at will. Chen Qingyun roughly informed the area of Zhenhai Island. The two talked for a while, and finally Zhang Wenhui nodded and said that the Zhang family could customize a spirit gathering array the size of Zhenhai Island. In terms of price, it requires about 3,000 spirit stones, which is much more expensive than formations of the same level. Different from the most basic fire control formation, Zhang Wenhui is temporarily unable to arrange this second level spirit gathering formation and needs to rely on his family to take action. In Hefang City, there are few finished spirit gathering formations for sale. Since this array method requires measuring the size of the layout area, the array layout is not very flexible, so it needs to be customized. There is no problem with the price. Then I will ask Miss Lao Zhang to help the family customize this set of spirit gathering formations. I hope to get this formation within the next month. Chen Qingyun smiled. Zhang Wenhui was only informed of the size of Zhenhai Island, but not the specific location. Later, he also took matters into his own hands to arrange the spirit gathering formation. There is no need to worry about exposing the location of Zhenhai Island. As for when the formation can be obtained, it will take some time to wait. Of course I hope the sooner the better. There's no problem with this, just leave it to me and you can rest assured. Zhang Wenhui patted her chest and said, I will tell my family about this later. The two reached a deal, returned to the matter of the fire control formation, and left the restaurant together. Following Zhang Wenhui, we compared prices at 3 stores in Fangshi East District. Chen Qingyun finally spent 9 spirit stones to purchase some formation materials at the lowest price. Before making the formation, Zhang Wenhui asked carefully about the minimum and maximum temperature of the ground fire that needs to be controlled, so that it can be used in conjunction with the ground fire. Chen Qingyun was very familiar with the underground fire chamber on Zhenhai Island. He answered these questions one by one and gave precise requirements. After Zhang Wenhui found out, it only took about half an hour to complete the formation and handed it over to Chen Qingyun. For making a formation, the reward the formation master can get is at least 20% of the total price of the formation. This fire control array is a first-level low-grade one, worth a set of 15 to 20 spirit stones. Zhang Wenhui originally didn't want to receive payment, but Chen Qingyun was not stingy and directly gave him 5 pieces of spiritual stone as payment. When the two parted, Zhang Wenhui took out a transmission note and handed it to Chen Qingyun. Brother Qingyun, if you encounter something you don't understand again, just use this to contact me. I will go back to the family in the next few days regarding the spirit gathering formation. I will tell you the specific price then. After some contact, the two became familiar with each other. Zhang Wenhui no longer spoke of Taoist Chen, and changed her name. Okay, thanks to you this time. Chen Qingyun did not refuse and accepted the sound transmission talisman. Thinking that it was in accordance with the principle of asking for advice, he should give a little consultation fee. So he took out 10 spiritual stones and gave them to Zhang Wenhui, which caused the girl to shake her head and wave her hands. No, no. You gave me an extra 50 spiritual stones when you bought that set of formation flags last time. Speaking of this, she couldn't help but sigh and fumbled from the storage bag a little embarrassedly. I will return the extra 50 spiritual stones to you now. No, you take it. I guess I will have questions to ask you in the future. The spiritual stones are just a reward. Chen Qingyun smiled and waved his hand. In the evening, the street market was still bustling. Zhang Wenhui continued to set up a stall in the street market. Chen Qingyun casually asked why Zhang Ren didn't follow, and learned that this person was also in the Black Cliff market, but he was stationed in a shop and would come to the street market from time to time to see Zhang Wenhui. Through simple inquiries, Chen Qingyun also learned that Zhang Wenhui had recently consumed a lot of spirit stones in order to learn the art of formations. This time, she came out to earn spirit stones. Her magic tools and formations were all the wealth she had accumulated over the years, and now she decided to sell them. Cultivation is not easy. It is not only the Chen family cultivators who face this problem, but also the Zhang family cultivators. After wandering around the street market, Chen Qingyun and Zhang Wenhui said goodbye and turned to leave the market without seeing anything of interest. He went all the way to Zhuxiantu. When he stepped into Zhuxiantu, a pair of eyes in a shop in the distance stared at Chen Qingyun's figure, and a cunning look flashed in their eyes. Zhuxiantu second floor. Fellow Taoist Chen. Seeing Chen Qingyun, Liu Zilin's face showed joy, and expectations surged in her heart. Chen Qingyun smiled faintly, took out the soul-nourishing jade from the storage bag, and handed it to Liu Zilin. Senior Liu, I have accomplished your mission. I asked that senior to refine the soul-nurturing jade for you. Please test it carefully. Chapter 94, The Blazing Sun Demon Slaying Formation. News about the foundation building pill. The soul-nurturing jade has been made. Liu Zilin took the soul-nurturing jade. The jade pendant felt light and warm in her hand, and it felt very good to the touch. When the magic power was injected into it, the soul-nurturing jade emitted a hazy light and became transparent and illusory. Liu Zilin could clearly sense that this soul magic weapon had a close connection with herself. The aura revealed on the magic weapon also reached the first level, top grade level. Liu Zilin's eyebrows were full of smiles. After checking for a while, she nodded with satisfaction. There is no problem. Thanks to the help of fellow Taoist Chen, I got this jade treasure. As she said, she took out a storage bag from her sleeve. Here is the reward of 5,000 spirit stones, and the set of second-level formations you want. Fellow Taoist Chen, please check it too. Okay. Chen Qingyun took the storage bag, counted the spirit stones, and looked at the formation again. His eyes lit up slightly. The Fiery Sun Demon Slaying Formation. This is a set of second-level medium-grade formations that can gather the power of heaven and earth and condense the fiery sun divine fire to restrain demons and evil spirits. In terms of power, it can fight against 3 mid-stage foundation building cultivators. What attracted Chen Qingyun even more was that the operation consumption of this formation was not high, which was 10% or 20% lower than the 4-elephant black tortoise formation. Whether it was power or energy consumption, Chen Qingyun was quite satisfied. At the same time, he was also a little surprised. When he mentioned that he wanted a second-level formation as a reward, he did not clearly specify the grade of the formation. I originally thought that Liu Zilin would find a second-level low-grade formation. I didn't expect the other party to be so generous and find a second-level medium-grade formation. There was no problem with the spirit stone and the formation, and this transaction was successfully completed. As Chen Qingyun's thoughts turned, he remembered the matter of the refining workshop. In order to solve the problem of the fire control formation, it is necessary to purchase some materials according to the guidance given by Zhang Wenhui. Chen Qingyun spent 13 spiritual stones to purchase a formation material called driving formation stone in Zhuxiantu. This driving formation stone can achieve the effect of controlling the strength of the formation according to the pressure and direction. It is equipped with a mineral called Yuzhun stone. This Yuzhun means feathering 1,000 pounds, which means that a feather can burst out 1,000 pounds of force. That is, 30,000 pounds of force. Of course. The Yujun stone sold here in Zalanchan can only exert the power of Yuabajan at most, which is about 3,000 pounds. Yujun stone combined with driving formation stone can allow mortals to easily exert 1,000 pounds of force, easily move the furnace, and not spend too much effort during the refining process. In addition, some improvements need to be made to the formation. Zhang Wenhui carefully drew the drawings of the detailed steps here. Chen Qingyun himself also has the background of refining equipment. After a few glances, he understood it clearly and knew what to do. The problem of controlling the fire formation can be solved. There is still the problem of the inscription formation. Puppetry is also one of the 100 arts of immortal cultivation. It is called Puppet Master, which is a very niche accomplishment. But unlike the 5 elements puppet, many puppets made by puppet masters do not have divine thoughts, so they are not in the category of magic tools and cannot be strengthened and improved. This is also the difference between the 5 elements puppet and those puppets. The 5 elements puppet has divine thoughts. Can it be engraved with formations? Chen Qingyun has tried it before. It can be. However, it is still under his control. Not only is the efficiency not high, but the engraving is difficult. And it consumes his own energy. It is equivalent to controlling a 5 elements puppet while controlling the magic tool to refine the magic tool. This superposition makes refining tools even more difficult. He has to find a puppet that does not consume divine thoughts to control, can move independently, and has divine thoughts and learning abilities. Senior Liu, I have something to ask you. Chen Qingyun showed a humble look and wanted to ask about puppets. Please, speak. At this time, Liu Zilin was immersed in the joy of obtaining the soul-nurturing jade. When she heard that Chen Qingyun had questions to ask, she responded immediately. Fellow Taoist Chen, you have helped me a lot this time and solved my urgent problem. If you have any questions, just ask me. I wonder if Senior Liu knows the way of puppets? Or are there puppets for sale here? Chen Qingyun asked. Puppets? Liu Zilin muttered to herself, and soon shook her head. Among the 100 arts of cultivating immortals, I don't understand the way of puppets. This puppet is different from alchemy and refining, which has a wide audience. It is a very unpopular one. As far as I know, there are only a handful of puppeteers in the Blackcliff market. If you want to buy puppets here, it will be difficult to find a way. Hearing this, Chen Qingyun nodded slowly and stopped asking. Finally, he continued to purchase some refining materials. He didn't have many refining materials in his hands, only red iron, 2 earth fire purple gold coppers, a few Hunyuan stones, and the 2 types he just bought. In order to meet the needs of refining, he had to buy some more. After a conversation with Liu Zilin, Chen Qingyun learned that although there was no shortage of refining materials in the market, the price had increased by at least 10% compared to the past. For example, the price of Hunyuan stone, a first-grade high-quality spiritual ore, increased from 40 spiritual stones to 44 spiritual stones. The same was true for the rest of the materials. Liu Zilin had a rich reserve of refining materials. Chen Qingyun purchased some first-grade medium-quality materials and a small number of first-grade high-quality materials, and the spiritual stones he spent reached to 57. Among them. Among the first-grade superior materials, there is a material called fire-refined Qingguang. This material can be integrated into the finished magic weapon to increase the strength of the magic weapon. After Chen Qingyun decided to go back. Incorporate fire-refined Qingguang into the Qingguang sword and the Oolong mother and child blade. Make them into the top first-grade magic weapons. In addition. He also needs to start refining a few more magic weapons, and equip one to the gold puppet after strengthening. He also needs to take a few more magic weapons with him. As for the elixir part. Chen Qingyun has more than 10 bottles of qi and blood pills and rejuvenation pills. For him personally, it is enough. There is no need to purchase elixirs for the time being. However, there is a kind of elixir that Chen Qingyun is very interested in. He tried to ask about the Foundation Establishment pill to see if Liu Zilin has any way to buy it. After all, as a disciple of Lingbao Mountain and a Foundation Establishment cultivator, This woman must have a way to get in touch with the Foundation establishment pill. Even get 1 or 2 Foundation establishment pills. After asking like this, some information was actually obtained. Fellow Taoist Chen, you want to build your foundation, right? Because of the coming of the Star Sea Monster Tide, the elixirs on the market are in short supply. Even the most basic qi refining pills are overpriced and snapped up by cultivators from all sides. The higher grade foundation building pills are even harder to find. At this point, Liu Zilin couldn't help but smile bitterly. The demand for foundation building pills among the disciples of Lingbao Mountain is also very huge. There are thousands of qi refining level 9 cultivators, eagerly waiting for the sect to produce a few batches of foundation building pills. The senior leaders of Lingbao Mountain would not be so stupid as to ignore their own disciples' foundation building and sell the foundation building pills outside. The profits from selling foundation building pills are just a small profit in front of the huge Lingbao Mountain. There are none in Lingbao Mountain, but I recently got news that there is a place with foundation building pills. Chen Qingyun, who originally thought that he could not buy foundation building pills, immediately brightened up when he heard Liu Zilin's words. Chapter 95 Liu Zilin and number 039 senior sister, the 3-flower gathering spirit platform. Where can I buy the foundation building pill? Please tell me, senior. Chen Qingyun thought for a moment and stretched out his hand to take out 100 spirit stones to buy this news. Liu Zilin saw Chen Qingyun's action at a glance and shook her head. This matter will soon spread and it will no longer be a secret. You helped me, so I will just tell you directly. This is what happened. Recently, I heard from my master that Han Laozu of Yishi Island will refine several furnaces of foundation building pills in 3 months. And some of them will be sold at that time. If you want to get the foundation building pill, you can go to Yishi Island to try your luck. This is the fastest and safest way to get the foundation building pill. Han Laozu's alchemy skills are also among the best in the Inner Star Sea, so there is no need to worry about the quality of the pill. Liu Zilin smiled lightly and revealed this secret. 3 months later, Han Laozu will refine the foundation building pill. When Chen Qingyun heard this, he couldn't help but smile. As Liu Zilin said, Han Laozu is not only a giant and cultivator. He is also an alchemist, and enjoys a great reputation in the Inner Star Sea. There will be no problem with the foundation building pills refined by this person. The problem that I should worry about is whether I can buy a foundation building pill from Han Laozu. It would even be better if I could buy 1 or 2 more and give them to the family. According to your current strength, fellow Taoist Chen, I believe you can successfully build a foundation within a year. By then, the Chen family will have 1 more foundation building cultivator, which is a great thing for your Chen family. I suggest you go to Yishi Island, otherwise it will be at least 10 years before Han Laozu refines the foundation building pill next time. 10 years. Building a foundation 10 years slower than others is equivalent to practicing 10 years less in the foundation building period. Liu Zilin said solemnly. Since Chen Qingyun just stepped into this place, she has seen Chen Qingyun's cultivation. It has been less than a month since the last time I saw her. This boy's cultivation has increased so rapidly that he has caught up with his top talent. After so many years of development, the Chen family finally has a rising star. Whether you can build a foundation in the future depends on luck. Thank you, Senior Liu, for telling me this. Chen Qingyun nodded slowly and looked at Liu Zilin in front of him a few more times. The other party looked to be only in his early 20s, but he was already the owner of a shop in the market. Her cultivation has also reached the foundation building stage, and she is backed by Lingbao Mountain. Whether it is experience or news, this woman is far from being as simple as she looks. Compared with the family patriarch, who is more than 100 years old and has a foundation building cultivation, look at Liu Zilin. The gap is definitely not just because of talent. Chen Qingyun also deeply understands the truth that there are always people outside of people and there are always heavens outside of heaven. He has not heard any news about the news that Han Laozu of Yishi Island is going to refine the foundation building pill, but Liu Zilin has already known it in advance. Different circles bring different people and things. The information gap between qi refining cultivators and foundation building cultivators is indeed not small. While Chen Qingyun was pondering and looking at him, Liu Zilin did not avoid Chen Qingyun's gaze at all. She looked at Chen Qingyun and asked with a smile, "Fellow Taoist Chen, you should pay more attention to the matter of the foundation building pill. I have something to ask now." Seeing that Liu Zilin also had something to ask, Chen Qingyun was not stingy. "Senior Liu, please speak. It's about refining equipment. I wonder if that senior still has time to accept the commission of refining equipment now? Does Senior Liu have any magic tools to refine?" "It's not me this time, it's one of my senior sisters." Chen Qingyun nodded calmly and did not rush to ask. Liu Zilin noticed that Chen Qingyun did not refuse, and seemed to hope, so she continued to speak. "My sister wants to find someone to refine an auxiliary magic weapon recently. The reward is 4,500 spirit stones. However, she has repeatedly hit a wall after looking for many fellow refiners. No one is willing to take on the commission. If you are willing to help this time, I can ask for some benefits for you. It depends on what you want." As soon as the voice fell, Liu Zilin thought of something again and smiled a little embarrassedly. "Of course, except for the foundation building pill. It will take a lot of effort for my sister and I to get one. I won't promise you anything that I am not 100% sure to help." Chen Qingyun did have the idea of asking for the foundation building pill. It is not realistic to think about it carefully. It is impossible for Liu Zilin's sister to be willing to give out a foundation building pill as a reward for a magic weapon. This is obviously unrealistic. It is necessary to ask what kind of magic weapon it is. "What kind of magic weapon does your sister want to refine?" Chen Qingyun asked. "That magical instrument is called the Three-Flower Gathering Spirit Platform, and it is an instrument to assist in cultivation." Liu Zilin gave a brief introduction. The Three-Flower Gathering Spirit Platform has reached the second grade, lower grade, and can automatically gather the spiritual energy of heaven and earth and refine the essence of spiritual energy during cultivation. It is rare to find magical instruments that can refine the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. When a cultivator is practicing, he does not directly absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth around him into his body, but there is a process of removing impurities from the spiritual energy. Since all things are nurtured between heaven and earth, there is not only spiritual energy flowing in the air, but also some substances such as the evil spirit of the earth and turbidity. Just like extracting pure water, harmful substances need to be removed. With this Three-Flower Gathering Spirit Platform, cultivators can start practicing directly by absorbing the pure spiritual energy gathered and refined by the Three-Flower Gathering Spirit Platform. This saves the process of refining the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, which will undoubtedly greatly increase the speed of practice. This is a good thing. Even if there are many cultivators who know about this kind of magic weapon. But if you want to obtain it, it is difficult to buy it on the market. The relevant refining drawings will not be circulated on the market. It is basically an exclusive magic weapon. Encountering this kind of auxiliary magic weapon, Chen Qingyun has a great interest. He still looks calm and nodded slowly. Knowing the situation, it doesn't say whether it can be refined or not. Seeing that Chen Qingyun did not express his opinion, Liu Zilin pondered for a while and tried to ask, "Friend Chen, can you still invite that senior to help my senior sister refine this Three-Flower Gathering Spirit Platform? My senior sister knows some puppetry, maybe you can find the answer you want from her." Is this senior sister really a person? Or was it Liu Zilin who wanted to refine the second magic weapon herself? Chen Qingyun didn't mean to investigate further. As long as the refining materials were sufficient, he could refine one and leave it. He obviously wouldn't be stingy with the reward. The most important thing was that her sister knew some puppetry, so maybe she could get in touch with her and ask. He deliberately pondered for a while, pretending to be thinking and embarrassed, until Liu Zilin thought there was no hope. Chen Qingyun's voice slowly sounded. "I can ask for you, but I'm not sure if it will succeed." Then, Wait a moment, fellow Taoist Chen, I'll contact my sister right away. Liu Zilin looked happy, and immediately took out the communication talisman while the iron was hot. It took only a moment for her to respond. My senior sister said she wants you to help her try it out. Can you wait for a while, fellow Taoist Chen? My senior sister is also in the inner sea of stars. It will take about 2 days to get here. Okay. That night, Chen Qingyun was arranged by Liu Zilin to stay in an inn in the market, waiting for her senior sister to arrive. After waiting for 2 days, a woman in green finally arrived in the evening. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 96 Chen Qingyun number 039 S conditions. Through introduction. Chen Qingyun learned. This woman's name is Wanjiantu. She is from the same lineage as Liu Zilin. They are both disciples of Zhuxiantu, the elder of the Purple Mansion of Lingbao Mountain. This woman's cultivation has reached the late stage of foundation building. Her appearance is bright and charming. Compared with the quiet and secluded Liu Zilin, they are completely different types. She brought a total of 3 refining materials this time. According to her words, she wanted to collect more refining materials. But now the price of materials has skyrocketed and it is not easy to buy. She asked Chen Qingyun if the senior was sure to refine 3 materials. 3 materials? Maybe it's not a big problem. Chen Qingyun pondered for a while before answering. It can be refined. Wanjiantu also brought a refining jade slip, which recorded in detail the refining method of the 3 flowers gathering spirit platform. This magic weapon has 3 forms, divided into 1 flower, 2 flowers and 3 flowers. The 1 flower gathering spirit platform is a first-class upper grade 1, with only 1 flower for gathering spirits. It is the most basic version and needs to be engraved with 6 array patterns. The 2 flower gathering spirit platform is a first-class top grade 1. Because a flower for gathering spirits is added, the effect is doubled, and the number of array patterns reaches 12. The 3 flower gathering spirit platform is the final version. It has 3 flowers for gathering spirits. It is the most efficient in gathering spirits and the most difficult to refine. It has a total of 18 array patterns. Those who can engrave 18 array patterns have reached the level of a second-class weapon refiner. Chen Qingyun is obviously far from it. Fortunately, even the most basic 1-flower gathering spirit platform is far from being as troublesome as refining the soul-nurturing jade. With 3 materials, Chen Qingyun is confident that he can refine 1 or 2 of the most basic 3-flower gathering spirit platforms. After all, as long as the most basic version of the magic weapon is refined, there is no need to engrave so many array patterns, and then strengthen and upgrade it to stack up the grade. That's great. Since that senior has refined the soul-nourishing jade for junior sister Zilin, it proves that the senior's attainments in refining weapons are quite extraordinary. This time, I have to ask fellow Taoist Chen to come forward and ask that senior to refine this 3-flower gathering spirit platform for me. Wanjiantu smiled like a flower, looked at Chen Qingyun with interest, and asked, I wonder what reward fellow Taoist Chen wants for this help? To refine the soul-nourishing jade, Chen Qingyun asked for a set of second-level attack formations. Wanjiantu knew this after asking Liu Zilin a little. She guessed that Chen Qingyun might not be interested in just giving spirit stones. Maybe he also gave formations? As soon as the question was asked, Chen Qingyun's voice slowly sounded. Can Senior Wan get a puppet with divine thoughts that can act independently according to commands? Chen Qingyun asked, hoping to find a solution to the magic weapon inscription formation from Wanjiantu. As Liu Zilin's senior sister. This woman's circle and knowledge must be more extensive. This is also the cultivator with the strongest cultivation and the best connections that Chen Qingyun can currently contact, except for the clan leader. Fellow Taoist Chen wants a puppet with divine thoughts. Wanjiantu heard this and looked at Chen Qingyun with a solemn look. Not bad. Chen Qingyun elaborated on his idea. He himself has a 5-element puppet, and he can also control it to refine magic tools and engrave array patterns. But using the 5-element puppet to engrave the array consumes his own mana, which seems redundant. It is better to engrave the array by himself. And if you want to engrave the array with a puppet, the most basic condition is that the puppet can act independently according to instructions without Chen Qingyun controlling it. It has to be similar to a robot. The 5-element puppet obviously cannot meet this requirement, so it needs to be purchased again. After Chen Qingyun finished speaking, Wanjiantu understood. I understand what you mean. She looked at Chen Qingyun deeply, changed her previous smile, and said seriously, I can help you get one of the puppets you mentioned, but it will take some time. Do you have the patience to wait? Hearing that there was a chance, Chen Qingyun asked, how long will it take? 1 or 2 months. Okay. If you are not in a hurry, then this matter will be easy. Wanjiantu smiled again, fumbled in her sleeves, took out a storage bag and handed it to Chen Qingyun. Here are 3 sets of refining materials. Thank you, fellow Taoist Chen. Chen Qingyun accepted the storage bag without hesitation. After counting the quality and quantity of the materials in person, he said, I will come here to find you again in 2 months. Then, it's a deal. Wanjiantu nodded. 2 months is just a blink of an eye for a foundation building cultivator. She didn't expect that she could get the 3 flowers gathering spirit platform so quickly. It was originally expected to take at least half a year. After completing the transaction, Chen Qingyun did not stay any longer, got up and said goodbye, and walked out of Zhuxiantu. Watching Chen Qingyun go away and disappear, Wanjiantu frowned slightly and turned to Liu Zilin. My good junior sister, you still won't tell me who this Chen Qingyun is. He deserves your trust. You dared to let him help you make connections and refine the soul-nourishing jade. Liu Zilin looked serious. When she heard the name Chen Qingyun, a smile appeared on her lips. This young man from the Chen family is not as simple as we see. Don't worry about his background. It's good enough that he can give you the 3-flower gathering spirit platform in the end. I couldn't find anyone to refine the soul-nourishing jade, so I decided to take the risk and let him have a try. Fortunately, I didn't misjudge the person. This fellow Taoist Chen really gave me a lot of surprises. Well, if it weren't for the civil strife in Lingbao Mountain and the pressure from the Star Sect, I would have found the master of Lingbao Mountain to refine it. Why would I have to wait so long? I think this guy's cultivation has reached the peak of qi refining, and he can plan to build a foundation. He can actually endure it. Instead of asking me for a foundation building pill, he wants some kind of puppet. Wanjiantu was a little confused. How can it be so easy to get the foundation establishment pill now? Liu Zilin smiled bitterly and said, a few years ago, we could have gotten 1 or 2 from Master. I told him in advance that we cannot promise to give him the foundation establishment pill. However, I did tell him that Ancestor Han wanted to refine the foundation establishment pill, then he can go for it on his own. Ancestor Han wants to refine the foundation establishment pill? Wanjiantu raised her eyes and asked. Yes, I heard Master mention this. Last month, Patriarch Han purchased a batch of chalcedony golden branches in our Lingbao Mountain. This material is the main medicinal material for refining the foundation establishment pill. Master accidentally revealed that Patriarch Han is planning to refine the foundation establishment pill in 3 months. In that case, this kid is very lucky, and the opportunity to obtain the foundation establishment pill has come. Yes, but whether he can get the foundation establishment pill on Yishi Island depends on his own ability. Okay, let's not talk about him anymore. Liu Zilin thought of Zhu Yurong. Master specifically told us not to get involved in the sex affairs. The water here is deep. In a few days, I have to go back to the sect and see the master. Keek, junior sister, it's just a coincidence that we will go back together in a few days. After leaving Zhuxiantu, Chen Qingyun headed towards the Fangxi exit. In a shop opposite Zhuxiantu, 2 figures were sneaky, following Chen Qingyun from a distance. Chapter 97. The Yellow Bird is behind. HMPH, the cultivator of the Chen family. It seems that he is one of the king generation of the Chen family. His strength is at most the middle stage of qi refining, far inferior to you and me. This kid actually goes in and out of Zhuxiantu again and again. It seems that he has bought a lot of things here. One of them said with a stern face and a bit of greed. This person has a lot of cultivation resources. This is a piece of fat meat. The other one, also from the Zhao family, is also from the Yi generation of the Zhao family. One is called Zhaixi and the other is called Zhaishang. These two are clan members arranged by the Zhao family to manage affairs in the shops in the market, and their cultivation has reached the 7th level of qi refining. Different from the Chen family. There are several business talents in the Zhao family. They opened a shop called Zhao's Shop in the Black Cliff Market. It has been opened for more than 3 years and has brought continuous income to the Zhao family. Chen Qingyun went in and out of Zhuxiantu and was soon discovered by Zhaixi and the others. Follow him and see if this kid has bought something good. Chen, family cultivator, why should we be soft-hearted? When he leaves the market, we can kill him if we want. He is just a pig or a dog. The two discussed for a while, and set off together to track Chen Qingyun. At the same time. On the 2nd floor of Zhuxiantu. Wanjiantu has been paying attention to Chen Qingyun's figure going away, and she is spreading her spiritual sense to observe Chen Qingyun's next move, whether he will go directly to the senior with the materials. She is very curious about the identity of the so-called senior. After paying attention, she soon found Zhaixi and the other person who were following Chen Qingyun. Huh? This is interesting. Wanjiantu exclaimed in surprise, and a smile appeared on the corner of her mouth. What's wrong? Liu Zilan asked in confusion. Wanjiantu smiled and said playfully, 2 Zhao family cultivators are following your Chen family kid all the way. After hearing this, Liu Zilan immediately put down the business in her hands and her mind fell on Chen Qingyun. Chen Qingyun is being followed? She frowned and asked. Well, take a look for yourself. Liu Zilan opened her spiritual sense. Under Wanjiantu's guidance, she soon discovered the traces of Chen Qingyun and Zhaixi. I'll go over and take a look. Before she finished speaking, Liu Zilan stood up and was about to chase them. Haha. Are you impatient? I'll go with you. Chen Qingyun still had the materials for refining weapons on him. Wanjiantu didn't want Chen Qingyun to be slaughtered before he could finish the magic weapon. The 2 women spread their bodies and went out of the market. When they arrived at the entrance of the market, they looked up and saw Zhaixi and Zhaishang activating a flying boat magic weapon, preparing to continue tracking Chen Qingyun. Looking at Chen Qingyun again, he had already taken off into the air and was slowly flying in one direction. The entrance of the market. The 2 Yangshan disciples who were guarding here saw that Liu Zilan and Wanjiantu were much stronger than them, and nodded and greeted them, and were a little afraid of the 2 women. Wanjiantu just nodded in response, and then her eyes fell on the 2 Zhao family cultivators again, and a cold light flashed in her eyes. It is indeed following Chen Qingyun, and it is probably with the crooked intention of killing people and stealing treasures. Liu Zilan said, with a bit of coldness in her tone. She has seen too many situations of stalking and tracking, and she can't guess what Zhaixi and the others are thinking. Senior, sister, let's follow quietly first. That's what I mean. In terms of tracking, the 2 of them are both foundation building cultivation, and are obviously more powerful than Chen Qingyun, Zhaixi, and Zhaishang. After traveling for more than 10 miles, the 2 women found that Chen Qingyun's flying speed has not been fast, and it seems that he is deliberately slowing down. Seeing that they were out of the protection range of the Black Cliff Market, Wanjiantu's eyes fell firmly on Zhaixi and Zhaishang in the distance. She wiped her storage bag with her bare hands and took out a crescent-shaped magic weapon. Seeing that her senior sister took out the Xuanai wheel, Liu Zilan's expression moved. Senior, sister, are you going to do it? Wanjiantu glanced at Liu Zilan with a deep smile on her face. Those who kill will be killed. If they leave this hidden danger unremoved, Do they have to wait for them to seize the Sanhua Juling Tai from the Chen family kid in the future? At this point, Wanjiantu smiled to herself. You, the Chen family kid, don't you want that kind of puppet? Now is the right time. Before the voice fell, the senior sister activated the Xuanai and hit Yixi and the others. What's the sound? No. Yixi, who was sitting in the same flying boat, suddenly felt a chill coming from behind him, and there was a slight sound of breaking through the air, and he subconsciously looked back. Ah! When he saw it, he screamed in shock, and was beheaded by Zhuanu Lun on the spot. Not good. Seeing his fourth brother die in front of him, Dao Yishang's face changed drastically. In a panic, he quickly looked in the direction of Chen Qingyun, not sure if Chen Qingyun noticed them and took the initiative. Don't look, I'll send you on your way. At this moment, a cold voice sounded. Dao Yishang looked in the direction of the voice, and saw two figures, one blue and one purple, appear beside him. A cold light flashed between heaven and earth. It slashed directly at Dao Yishang. Liu Zilin. No. Yishang's pupils reflected the rapidly slashing Zhuanu Lun, recognized Liu Zilin, and terrifiedly offered a defensive shield to block in front of him. It was just a late stage of chi refining, and it was no match for a foundation establishment cultivator. With a clang, the shield and Dao Yishang were split in half. I said I'll send you on your way. When Yanran waved her jade hand, and the black moon wheel drew a graceful arc in the air and flew back to her side. Why are you calling me junior sister? She muttered. The black moon wheel circled Wanjiantu for a few circles, emitting a faint white light, and then flew into the storage bag. The two women looked in the direction of Chen Qingyun again. At this time, noticing that the tracker was killed by Wanjiantu, Chen Qingyun's palm on the storage bag moved away. In fact, when leaving the market, Chen Qingyun found Yixi and Yishang who were following him. In order to make it easier to take action, he deliberately slowed down the flight speed, wanting to find an uninhabited island 20 or 30 miles away from the Black Cliff Market to kill the two men. Unexpectedly, Liu Zilin and Wanjiantu also followed. At first, he was still wondering whether they were coming for him or the two Alf family monks. Now, the answer is very clear. Pretending not to notice, Chen Qingyun did not look back and began to speed up. He did not want Liu Zilin and the other two girls to chase him to the Zhenhai Island. It would not be too late to say these words of thanks the next time they met. Hey, he increased his flying speed. Seeing Chen Qingyun's speed increase dramatically, almost turning into a stream of light and flying away, Wanjiantu covered her mouth and smiled jokingly. He wouldn't think that I would also attack him, right? Liu Zilin shook her head gently. I don't think so. Haha, you, the Chen family kid, are walking quite fast now. Next time we meet, he must give me the 3 flower gathering spirit platform, so that it will not be in vain for me to help him this time. Otherwise, he will have to look bad. Chapter 98 Expanding the production line, returned to Zhenhai Island. After taking a break, Chen Qingyun began to survey the island and set up the Fiery Sun Demon Slaying Array. Since this array is controlled by the array plate, it does not require an array master to set it up. According to the arrangement instructions in the array jade slip, Chen Qingyun fiddled with it for most of the day and set up this array. A faint golden light curtain began to cover the outside of the 4 symbols black tortoise array, including most of Zhenhai Island. With the protection of this Fiery Sun Demon Slaying Array, I am finally relieved. Now, let alone the purple jade demon from Giant Island coming to trouble me, even if 3 foundation building cultivators come to attack, I am very confident that they will not return. Seeing that the array was arranged, Chen Qingyun felt much more at ease. After resting for a night, Chen Qingyun continued to work the next day and entered the Earth Fire Room. This time, he got a solution to the fire control array, and he couldn't wait to solve the problem of fire control. Wandered around the Earth Fire Room. After selecting the isolated area and using the Earth Fire, Chen Qingyun controlled the Earth Puppet and manipulated the Earth Magic. With a rumbling sound, The entire earth-fire room was divided into two. A weapon refining room was quickly built. Immediately, Chen Qingyun took out the fire control array and laid it on the earth-fire. This weapon refining room will be used for refining in the future. After all this was done, it was already evening. Chen Qingyun took a short break, took out the drawings drawn by Zhang Wenhui, and began to study carefully, comparing the patterns of the fire control array. Not long after, he finally understood the principle of this array. Try to transform this fire control array. I hope it will succeed. Taking out the drive array stone and the Yujun stone in turn, Chen Qingyun took a deep breath and began to transform the original fire control array. This busy time passed quickly without knowing it. From time to time, the sound of ding-dong came from the earth-fire room, which was particularly obvious in the long night. When Chen Qingyun heard the sound, she knew that Chen Qingyun was busy, so she didn't bother him. It wasn't until the next morning that the fire control array was finally transformed. Two joysticks appeared in one corner of the array, and their respective uses were marked below the joysticks. One said ignition, and the other said temperature. The joystick on the left is the start switch. Pushing it up will ignite and start the fire control array. Pulling it all the way down will turn off the fire control array. The one on the right is for increasing or decreasing the flame temperature. The more you push it up, the higher the temperature will be, and pulling it down will lower the temperature. This fire control array is equivalent to Chen Qingyun transforming it into a stove. The furnace on the array is like a pot on the stove. More than a dozen attempts were made. Then compared with controlling the array with cultivation, it was confirmed that there was no problem. Chen Qingyun then called two mortals from the Chen family to try. Master, what are these two black rods? The two Chen family mortals were very curious about this formation. One of the young men asked, "Is this used to refine magic tools?" "It is a device to control the earth fire. Try to get familiar with it and see if you can control the flames here." Okay. Under Chen Qingyun's instruction, the two Chen family mortals waved the joysticks and learned quickly. In less than a cup of tea, they could accurately control the temperature of the earth fire. What a magical rod! It can also adjust the temperature of the flame in this way. If it is used to make fire and cook, it would be very convenient. Don't talk nonsense. This is what Master uses to refine immortal tools. You think about food all day long. Can you be more promising? After this period of hard work, the problem of controlling the fire formation was finally solved. After letting the two Chen family mortals leave the earth fire room, Chen Qingyun was happy and decided to continue to optimize the facilities here, thinking about where else needs to be improved. The problem of the inscription array has not been solved yet. I have to see if Wanjiantu can find a puppet that meets my needs to participate in storing divine thoughts and engraving array patterns. I have to do this inscription array myself. The 3 steps of smelting, fusion, and shaping are omitted, which also reduces a lot of refining time. I won't feel tired after refining a few more red iron swords like before. Chen Qingyun muttered to himself, and didn't dwell on the problem of the inscription array. When his eyes fell on the 100 refined steel and then looked at the red iron, new problems came. Because the size and weight of red iron are not consistent. It is necessary to cut it before smelting to unify the size and weight, so as to save materials and avoid the problem of insufficient materials during refining. The monks can easily cut these raw materials with flying swords. Mortals can also handle it, but it is just more laborious. For long-term development, the job of cutting raw materials must be arranged and someone must do it. The rest of the links also need to be divided and refined. Now, a production line has been successfully built. Before setting up the job, Chen Qingyun continued to build the refining workshop and spent another day to build 2 furnaces, shaping molds, etc. 3 production lines were built in one go. In this way, simultaneous production can be carried out. It is precisely because of the increase in production lines that more people need to be arranged to participate in production. It is extremely important to break down the work here and set up different job positions. It is convenient for management and allows Chen Jiafan to perform their duties. In terms of fire control, Set up a fire controller to control the temperature of the ground fire at all times. Before refining, it is necessary to cut the hematite in advance and accurately determine the amount of hematite, so stoneworker should be arranged. Then there is the smelting process. Since hematite and 100 refined steel are smelted at the same time, an independent type of work is also needed here to be responsible for this operation, which is called a smelter. The second is shaping, which needs to be shaped in time after smelting. The shaping process is also the top priority, so let's set up another shaping job. Finally, it is the transportation and disposal of waste and cleaning, which is also done by stoneworkers. Fire controller, stoneworker, smelter, and shaper. These four positions were set up at once, so that the work process was refined and the Chenjiafan people would not be in a hurry. At the same time, it is also convenient for management and adjustment if there is a problem. On the same day, Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun talked about the idea of building a refinery workshop and showed the fruits of their labor to Chen Qingyun. Chen Qingyun entered the underground fire room. When she saw the independent refinery room, the three furnaces, and the different fire control formations, surprise appeared in her beautiful eyes. Chapter 99. The equipment refining workshop is hiring. She saw that Chen Qingyun had been staying in the underground fire room these days and rarely went out. At first, she was a little confused and didn't come to disturb him. Now, it turns out that he was tinkering with these things. Are those three huge bronze furnace tripods the refining furnaces? What is the separated room used for? Why is the fire controller A different from the previous one? One by one, doubts emerged in Chen Qingyun's mind. Seeing the doubt on the face of the fifth sister, Chen Qingyun did not keep her in suspense and began to introduce the situation here with a smile. Fifth sister, that is the refining room. We will refine magic tools there in the future. This side is the refining workshop, which is used to mass-produce red iron swords. What is the specific production process? I will demonstrate it to you once. Refining workshop. Hearing this, Chen Qingyun muttered to herself and looked at the refining workshop. Fifth sister, you watch it. Chen Qingyun smiled slightly. In Chen Qingyun's doubts and expectations, the fire controller A was activated. When she saw the furnace and the fire controller A that could be controlled by mechanical rods, Chen Qingyun was shocked by these ideas that seemed to her to be unrealistic. No wonder the sixth brother has been so mysterious recently and always stays in the underground fire room. It turns out that he is tinkering with these things. No wonder he asked about the array before. Fifth sister, you may not understand it just by looking at it. I will show you once and you will understand. Chen Qingyun smiled mysteriously and began to operate. Watch it. I don't need to use true energy throughout the whole process. These controls can be completed by mortals. As the joystick was turned, the fire controller A made a whirring roar and was activated. Chen Qingyun urged the temperature joystick on the right, and the temperature of the underground fire rose slowly. Just seeing this step, Chen Qingyun opened her mouth in surprise. Can you really control the fire controller A without using true qi? Good. So magical. Ha 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 ha, the more magical thing is still to come. You see, I'm starting to smelt now. Chen Qingyun put red iron and 100 refined steel into the furnace. These two were gradually turned into liquid metal under high temperature combustion. Seeing that this furnace was used in this way, Chen Qingyun couldn't help but say, this is a bit like alchemy. When I was a child, I watched Grandpa Dalen making alchemy, and he also used a similar furnace. It's just that yours doesn't have a furnace cover, and the shape is a little different. Chen Qingyun is not surprised by the principle of this furnace. Until the smelting is completed. Seeing Chen Qingyun open a discharge port on the furnace and pick up the shaping mold to receive the metal liquid. Chen Qingyun's face showed surprise again. Is this for shaping? Seeing the sword-shaped groove on the mold, she guessed what this step was for. Haha, guessed right. Chen Qingyun continued to operate. After the metal liquid was placed in the shaping mold, under the watchful eyes of Chen Qingyun, A prototype of a red iron sword was quickly shaped. The subsequent polishing and sharpening were very simple. Any mortal could do it. Chen Qingyun also gave an answer to how to solve the last step of the inscription array. I haven't found a solution for this last inscription array yet. Fortunately, the first 3 steps are omitted, and there is no need to smelt, fuse, and shape them by yourself, which saves a lot of time. As for the inscription array, it still needs to be operated by the refiner himself for the time being. Chen Qingyun listened, and was gradually shocked in his heart that this refining workshop could actually complete the first 3 steps of refining the magic weapon. The last step of the inscription array, even if the refiner does it, it does not take much time. In this way, the efficiency of refining is greatly improved. There are 3 sets of such production facilities here. What I have to do now is to teach the family mortals the refining process here, so that they can produce the prototype of the flying sword. Therefore, I have set up several labor positions. I believe that they will soon be able to do their own work and do a good job at hand. Tomorrow, we will recruit workers for the weapon refining workshop. Chen Qingyun said. That day, he issued a notice to call everyone to gather the next morning and hold a meeting. The next day. Outside the earth fire room, more than 2,000 mortals gathered busily. In everyone's curiosity, Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun discussed and decided to select some Chen family mortals to work in the weapon refining workshop to assist in the production of the red iron sword. With the participation of mortals, this place will appear more flexible and lively. When they heard that they were going to assist in refining, these Chen family mortals showed great interest. Can we participate in the refining of magic tools? Okay. I haven't seen what a magic tool looks like. Now I can not only see it, but also touch it. I want to participate. I'll sign up. I want to participate. I want to go too. They have never touched a magic tool, but have only heard of it. Occasionally, they saw Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun use magic tools, and they were so envious. Now they have the opportunity to touch magic tools and participate in the refining of magic tools, which makes them all sign up to participate enthusiastically. After a selection, 5 men and 5 women, 10 mortals of the Chen family entered the refining workshop to work. As the saying goes, men and women work together, and work is not tiring. You have all been successfully selected. Unlike mining, as long as you work in this refining workshop, your monthly salary can be doubled to 2 taels of silver a month. Chen Qingyun told about the work benefits here. Wow, 2 taels of silver a month. A Chen family woman was surprised to learn that the salary had doubled. They were recruited by the family to work on mineral vein mining in Zhenhai Island. Because each of them did different things. Some carried hose to mine, some cleaned, and some cooked in the kitchen. These jobs were different, and the wages they received were also different. Among them, mining has the highest salary, which can reach 1 tael of silver a month. For ordinary people, working for 1 month can provide them with food and clothing for half a year. Working for 2 or 3 years is enough to earn enough to support their wives and live a rich life. Now, participating in the work of this refining workshop, the salary doubles, and they can make more money. How can they not be tempted? Seeing the excitement on their faces, Chen Qingyun continued, there are 4 types of jobs here, namely stone workers, fire control workers, smelters and shapers. Among them, stone workers are responsible for cutting and transporting ore and handling waste. The work will be harder, and the pay is relatively higher, up to 3 taels of silver a month. The other 3 jobs are not as tiring as stone workers, and the pay is 2 taels of silver a month. When the monthly salary was announced, several strong men showed excitement. Master, I want to be a stone worker. I am not afraid of hardship or fatigue. I want to be one too. Add me, I am strong. Stone worker, girls can do it. I want to do it too. What kind of cutting and transportation can girls do? It takes a lot of physical effort. You may not be able to handle it. Look at the other 3 jobs. 2 taels of silver a month is much better than your previous work in the kitchen. That's right. Then I want to try the fire control. It is related to fire. I am very good at fire. Choose me. Choose me. Master, look at me. Chapter 100 Production starts. Efficiency increases dramatically. In the equipment refining workshop. Several men and women discussed and signed up for what kind of work they wanted to do. Stone workers are more tiring, so they must be done by men. Fire control requires carefulness and patience. I suggest women do it. The other two jobs can be done by men or women. You can choose by yourself. Chen Qingyun introduced. Okay, don't rush to choose. Fire control only requires one person, and the other three positions of stone, smelting and shaping each require 3 people. I want to familiarize you with the work process of these jobs. After you get started, you will know which type you are suitable for. Under Chen Qingyun's guidance. They began to familiarize themselves with the equipment refining operations here. How to adjust the temperature of the fire control array, how to smelt, how to shape, etc. They are very malleable, and they know everything after getting familiar with it a few times. Turn the joystick to start the fire control array, take out the hematite, and put it into the furnace for smelting. This seemingly simple operation is both novel and very nervous for them. In a short while, the 10 members of the Chen family thought about it again and again, and after discussion, they finally decided which job they would take. What's your name? Chen Qingyun looked at a plain-looking young man and asked. Among the 10 people, he chose one person as the manager, who would be able to manage other people while producing. There must be a leader here, and he cannot stay here all the time. My name is Chen Beke, Master's Yuan. The young man bowed and responded. Even though he was 25 or 26 years old, he did not dare to look down on Chen Qingyun. You are also a member of my Chen family, so you don't have to be so polite. Chen Qingyun nodded lightly and ordered. From today on, you are their leader. While you are responsible for shaping, you must also lead them to work hard. If you encounter any problems that cannot be solved, you can come to me. That's right, Master's Yuan. Don't worry. Chen Beke nodded repeatedly, showing a bit of honest smile. Teach these mortals of the Chen family to participate in refining. Chen Qingyun has been staying in the weapon refining workshop for the past 2 days. Chen Beke and others were not able to accurately control the time of smelting at the beginning. Then there were some minor problems in fusion and shaping. Chen Qingyun kept pointing out the mistakes and made them familiar with the operation step by step. In order to accurately smelt the time. Chen Qingyun also built 3 clocks and placed them next to the 3 furnaces. The 3 clocks use spirit stones as the driving force and calculate the hours, minutes and seconds of the previous life. Chen Qingyun taught them how to read these times by comparing the clock production with time as a reference. It is much more convenient to work. What is the best smelting time for a piece of hematite? How long does it take for the 100 refined steel to melt into liquid? What should be paid attention to when fusing 2 materials, and what is the amount of fusion to control? Even the size of the hematite for the first time, all these need to be taught one by one. It looks simple, and some problems are expected. The reality is that the problems that have arisen are beyond Chen Qingyun's expectations. Fortunately, these big and small problems can be solved. Soon, under their operation, a prototype of a red iron sword was officially produced. When they asked Chen Qingyun and learned that the prototype of the flying sword was successfully refined, these Chen family mortals cheered and danced. For them, participating in the refining of magic tools and refining the prototype of magic tools is a very fulfilling thing. Ha, I can also participate in the refining of magic tools. Chen Beke was as happy as a child, and the others also laughed. With the birth of the first prototype of the flying sword, the second and third will follow. These days Chen Qingyun also often came to the refining workshop to watch. Seeing that 10 Chen family mortals have already started to work and started to refine the prototype of the flying sword, it feels like a dream. Who would have thought that, except for the inscription formation, the refining of magic tools now does not require the participation of the refiner. If someone said this to her before, she would definitely think that the other party was talking nonsense. Now seeing it with her own eyes, she has to admire Chen Qingyun's imagination, and he can also realize this concept. In the following days, the refining workshop continued to refine the prototype of the flying sword. The 3 production lines produced a total of 60 times, and produced 49 flying sword prototypes. In terms of the yield rate, in the first few days, these Chen family mortals came to familiarize themselves with the refining, and some materials would be lost more or less. Later, practice makes perfect, and the yield rate will naturally rise after the technique becomes more and more perfect. There is no need to rush. Looking at the 49 flying sword prototypes in front of him, Chen Qingyun transferred them to the refining room and began to personally engrave the array pattern one by one. It took a day, and finally 45 red iron swords came out of the furnace. He found that his success rate of refining was much better with just the simple array inscription. According to normal time. For a refiner to refine 45 flying swords, it would take at least half a month of continuous refining day and night. The bigger the gap is, the more Chen Qingyun thinks about it, and he feels that his efforts are not in vain. This refining workshop is worth it. The scale needs to be expanded. Looking at the rows of red iron swords in front of him, Chen Qingyun did not rush to disassemble them. He took a storage bag and put them away. Immediately, he sent a message to the family and told them about this matter. In the message, he stated that he could take over the family's red iron sword production in the near future. After Chen Xianming received the message, even though he was confused, could this weapon refining workshop really be used for refining? But the next morning, he found Chen Daoran and asked the old man to go to Zhenhai Island. Chen Daoran learned about the existence of the weapon refining workshop with a strong curiosity and disbelief. Until he found time to come to Zhenhai Island. Under the leadership of Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun, he visited the production of red iron swords and believed it. He was wondering if the old generation of weapon refiners were out of date. The furnace can still be used like this. The mold can also be used for shaping. The most amazing thing is the fire control array, which can be activated by 2 joysticks to control the temperature of the ground fire. The smelter here is smelting materials. The woman over there is responsible for the task of fire control, controlling the temperature of the ground fire. The stone workers are transporting pieces of cut ore materials, and sometimes cleaning up the waste generated by production. The division of labor is clear and well organized, and the work is not messy at all. All this is very novel to Chen Daoran. He spent a full half-day here observing and nodding his head from time to time. It's a pity that I can't solve the problem of the inscription array. If the inscription array can be completed here, there is no need for the refiner to take action, and this refinery workshop can be completely formed. Chen Qingyun shrugged. Recently, I often come here to observe, and correct the shortcomings when I find them. Let mortals come to inscribe the array? Chen Daoran was a little surprised when he heard this. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.